Collective, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I am the Nosy Witch and this is my channel, Nosy Witch Tarot. If you haven't been here before, I do collective pick a card readings here on YouTube. My readings do tend to be fairly long, they tend to be deep dives. However, I am going to try and make this reading slightly shorter than my usual readings because it's an extra reading. This is a Valentine's special and I am aiming to get it up before Valentine's Day. It's probably going to be on Valentine's Day, to be honest, with how long my videos take to upload. The reading is intended to be timeless though, so whenever you watch it is the best time for you. So today we are asking, who wants to take you HOTTOGO, aka hot to go, this Valentine's Day, and why do they want to do that? And if they aren't making a move, what is stopping them from approaching you and SHREKSIN you up? I am so sorry for the Shrek references. I feel like this title is cursed. I feel like nobody should have to hear me say those words, but here I am saying them anyway and giving you some lovely Shrek stickers to choose from because I just thought it was a reasonable way to say what I want to say, hopefully without being censored. But the more I actually look at these stickers, the more unreasonable I think it is. The title was also inspired by the Chapel Roan song, so if you like that song, hopefully that makes up for all the Shrek references. Nevertheless, I'm hoping we can have some spicy, romantic Valentine's fun with this reading. So as usual, we are going to be starting off with your oracle reading. Please use the oracle reading as an energy check and for confirmation you have chosen the right pile. And in the oracle reading, we are going to be asking, who is this person who has the hots for you? How might you be able to identify them? And if you have a pre-existing relationship with this person, what is the nature of that relationship? What might the dynamics be like between the two of you? So this could be someone you don't really know, somebody you haven't met yet, or somebody already in your life. It could be a future romantic interest, a current romantic interest, somebody you've been involved with before, or somebody you'd like to be involved with, either for the first time or again. I don't know what's going to come through, but that's what we are going to check out in the oracle. Then for your tarot reading, we're going to be doing a deeper dive on this energy, and we're also going to be asking why they want to take you hot to go, why they think you're a snack, what is it about you that has them feeling that way. So all being well, we are going to get some juicy details for you to sink your teeth into. And then we are going to be finishing the reading by asking, what is stopping this person from reaching out and getting Shreksy with you? So obviously this won't apply if you are happily with your person, and in those instances where you don't really need that extra little bit of confirmation, you are very much welcome to skip that little portion at the end. But for those of you who are wanting to know, why hasn't this person made a move? Why haven't they reached out? What's stopping them, if anything? What do they feel is blocking them? Hopefully we are going to get some answers on that. So as always, little disclaimer here that these are collective readings and not every single detail is going to resonate. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. Something I just want to add here that I like to mention with relationship readings generally is that I am going to be honest about what's coming through because that is the very least I owe you as a reader. So if a message happens to come through about a person or a situation you are done with and you no longer wish to hear about that situation, always trust your own intuition and either choose a different pile or give the reading a miss. Please know my intention is never, ever, ever to hurt you. I always want to try and offer clarity with these readings so that you have all the information you need and so that you can make the decisions in your life that are in your best interests. So if someone comes through who you have ended things with and you don't want to hear about that person and you wish it wasn't them coming through in this reading today, I totally understand and empathise with that situation, and as a human being and as a faraway friend, I like to think, I am also sorry that sometimes messages come through that we don't always want to hear. I listen to a lot of readings myself, so I do understand that on a personal level, but as a reader, I simply cannot apologise for being truthful because it would be irresponsible not to be. Trust me when I say my ego would love to just people please and just give everyone the messages they want to hear all the time, but that is not what I've been called to do. I try and frame all my messages in a way that's as uplifting as they can be, but ultimately I want to prioritise authenticity because it just wouldn't be right to you guys if I didn't do that. I do not control the readings control me. I am just the vessel, I'm just the messenger. So please don't be mad at me. And that's not to say you can't be mad at the situation, and by all means, if you're frustrated that a particular person comes through, feel your feelings, vent away. It's a privilege knowing you guys feel safe enough to express yourself in the comments, and I love connecting with you. So you don't have to hold yourself back in terms of your feelings, but please just human to human, try your best not to take it out on me. I know sometimes we encounter messages that are triggering, but if you do not like a message, I am not holding you hostage here. It's a free reading on the internet and you are welcome to leave at any point. And for 99% of you, I know that this is super obvious and you don't really need to hear this. Most of you guys are incredibly kind and supportive, even if a message is difficult. And, you know, others of you realise that some messages are for other people who chose the same pile as you. So just accept what's part of your story and leave the rest to that other person who might be on a different phase of the timeline. But I do just want to mention this right off the bat because unfortunately, I do find that when I do relationship readings, I tend to receive more unkindness, more hostility towards me due to people taking personal offence to something I have said and people holding me accountable for their feelings in terms of their interpretation of a reading. And listen, I know that that is the nature of the internet and I've put myself out here on the internet. That was my choice. So I always expect a certain degree of that no matter what I say. But this is just a gentle reminder that I am a person with feelings too. I wish I could give you only the messages that you want to hear, but I can't do that. Not only would it be immoral for me to try to take your autonomy away by hiding things, but it would also be completely impossible to cater to everyone, especially for a collective reading. You know, what some people love about my readings, others can't stand, and vice versa. I try to deliver even the harsh messages in the most gentle and respectful way I can, but that is all I can do. But just know I'm still a really small channel and I am doing my best and I am only ever wanting the best outcomes for you guys. I do hope we're going to get some beautiful, uplifting messages today. I hope that the reading will be fun and entertaining and will leave you feeling understood more than anything. And even if you're not into the person who comes through, I hope it's still a bit of entertainment for you. Even if someone comes through and you just want to listen so you can be like, oh, fuck that person, that is absolutely fine. These are tea spills. We are here for the gossip and we are here for the clarity. And I really do appreciate anyone who takes time out of their day to listen. Your likes, your comments, your shares, your subs mean the absolute world to me, and I'm so, so grateful for any support you're able to offer as I grow and as I learn on this crazy YouTube journey. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to read for you, and thank you for sending me your beautiful energy. And with that said, let's introduce the piles today. So we have got pile 1 with the Luna's My Melody Tarot and the Shrek Happens sticker. Here we have pile 2 with the Final Rose Tarot and the Sunglasses Shrek sticker. We have pile 3 with the Real Talk Tarot and the Smiling Shrek sticker. We have pile 4 with the Gourmet Tarot and the Running Shrek sticker. And we have pile 5 with the Orchid Valley Tarot and the Muscley Winged Shrek sticker. So once you've chosen your pile, please head to the pinned comment or the description box below. Timestamps will be listed there and they will take you to the start of your chosen reading. You are very welcome to choose more than one pile if more than one pile is calling to you today. Thanks again for being here, collective. I hope you enjoy the reading and I'll see you at your chosen pile. Hi pile 1 collective. If you chose pile 1 and you chose the Luna's Melody Tarot and the Shrek Happens sticker, you are in the correct place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full breakdown of everything this reading will entail, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some information in the pinned comment below. If you want to have a quick glance at that, go right ahead. So today we are asking who wants to take you HOTTOGO, aka hot to go, and why do they want to do that? And if they aren't making a move, what is stopping them from approaching you and SHREKSIN you up? So this reading was very clearly inspired by the song Hot to Go and by Shrek, naturally. So as usual, we are going to be starting off with your oracle reading, so I am just going to pop your tarot to one side for now so we can focus on these oracle cards in front of us here. So in a moment, we are going to be asking, who is this person? Who has the hots for you? How might you be able to identify them? And if you have a pre-existing relationship with this person, what is the nature of that relationship? What might the dynamics be like between the two of you? Then for your tarot reading, we're going to be doing a deeper dive on this, and we're also going to be asking why they want to take you hot to go, why they think you're a snack, what is it about you that has them feeling that way? Then we are going to be finishing the reading by asking what is stopping this person from reaching out and getting Shreksy with you. So obviously this won't apply if you are happily with your person, and in those instances where you don't need that extra confirmation, you are free to skip this section. But for those of you who are wanting to know, why hasn't this person made a move? Why haven't they reached out? What's stopping them, if anything? What do they feel is blocking them? Hopefully we are going to get some answers and some clarity on that. So as usual, a little bit of a disclaimer here that these are collective readings and not every single detail is going to resonate. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. But with all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And without hesitation, let's have a look at the oracle cards we pulled for you. So to start your reading, we have adaptable armadillo, security, toughness, boundaries, cautious creature of the forest, lend me your armor for self-defense. We have got number 11, justice, equality, neutrality, logic. We have got revelation. Through the grace of the divine, your soul has been awakened to this profound revelation, a life-changing epiphany that ignites the flame of your soul. And we have got the golden mirror, self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. So pile 1, I always like to start these readings by mentioning the numbers on the cards that have numbers, in case this is an extra confirmation for you. It doesn't have to be for this to be your pile, but if it is, it could be relevant in terms of a date, an age gap, a birthday, a day, month or year, or an angel number or synchronicity you are seeing a lot of, or a time length even. So here we have number 11 on that justice card. So somebody could be seeing a lot of the number 111. Somebody could be born on the 11th of a month. 11 is a master number, so somebody could be a master of something here. November could be significant to you or this person. Scorpio or Sagittarius could be relevant, but also maybe Libra with us getting that justice card. So autumn time generally, maybe something that happened 11 days ago or 11 months ago is significant to this connection in some way. These are just a few examples for specific people listening, but I'm getting a few different messages in regards to what this connection could be, but the overarching message is the same in that this is representative of two individuals who might have kind of a guard up with one another right now, particularly with that armadillo card showing up. So I do think for most of you listening, you do know of this person, even if it's in a more vague capacity, but the place you guys are at currently, it doesn't feel like you are being fully open with one another. And for some of you, it's going to be because maybe both of you don't really know each other incredibly well at this stage, and both of you are kind of cautious when it comes to who you let in and who to trust. And for others of you, it feels like maybe you are more familiar with this person, and maybe there was movement towards something solid in the not so distant past, but perhaps ego got in the way here and it didn't really get off the ground fully as well as it could have done at least. And now you're both in this place where nobody is really being open or making a move towards more communication. You're both kind of on guard with each other. And on your end, maybe it's rightfully so if this person did something to make you feel that way. It could go either way, I think. Some of you, you know exactly who this is when I say like ego got in the way, because that might be on them. And for others of you, this could just be a case of like, this is someone newish. It's a crush situation, and maybe it's just a case of like, this person doesn't want to put themselves out there and you don't want to put yourself out there. So you're both kind of eyeing the other up suspiciously, but nobody's really taking a step forward in a significant way. But either way, who this person is, there's somebody who has just had some kind of major revelation about you, pal one. They've had this light bulb moment, this epiphany. So if it is that former situation where you like kind of had a thing with that person, but they frustrated you or it didn't work out and now you're kind of being like closed off with one another, I think in that scenario, this could be a person who is realizing the part they had to play in that. And maybe they're realizing like, oh, I was being self-absorbed, or I wasn't giving enough to this connection. I didn't think enough about pile one. It could be that sort of situation where you got frustrated that maybe they weren't putting in the effort or they refused to open up to you. So now this revelation it's basically hitting them that their ego, their unwillingness to be vulnerable in any kind of significant way, they're realizing that that has gotten in the way of a good thing. And now they kind of want to bring justice to that situation. So they want to try and make it better. Or if this is a newer person or it's that crush situation and nobody has said anything yet, I think this is someone who has just, I want to say, kind of been hit by a train with these feelings for you. And they're realizing like maybe they just have to put themselves out there and do something. This could be a person who is overly cautious due to being hurt in a past situation. Like if this person in the past was in a one-sided relationship or they were with somebody who was self-absorbed, maybe they have sworn off connections or they vowed to themselves that they won't fall in love or open up to someone like that again. But now they have these feelings for you that are sort of stirring things up and making them kind of question that. So it could go either way. They could have been the problem in your connection, like they were getting in the way of their own self, and now they're realizing, they didn't treat you right or they didn't give all they should have done to this connection, and now they want to try and make that right. Or they could have just dealt with somebody who was problematic in the past and now it's made them kind of closed off or a little bit cold, or, you know, just less open to expressing their feelings. And that could apply for both of you as well. I mean, this is the golden mirror, so maybe if this is that crush situation, both of you are feeling it, but nobody wants to say anything because you're maybe very similar in both thinking like, well, I'll wait till they make a move, I'm going to be cautious, I'm not going to give anything away, I'm not going to let them see. But if both of you are doing that and nobody's making the move, then nothing's happening, basically. Maybe you're both not sure of what the other is thinking. But they have definitely realised something about this connection, and this is a reading about them wanting to take you out, pile one. So this could be them starting to feel more solid about that, them thinking like, yes, this is what I want to go ahead with it. But I think they're getting a little bit stuck with the how to go about it, because I don't see you making a move, but I think they're kind of scared of looking foolish. They're not sure whether it would be reciprocated. You might find them hard to read, but I think they feel the same way about you, to be quite honest. And you might be thinking, like, that's crazy because I feel like I've dropped hints to this person, or I made it clear that I was into them and they didn't go for it, they didn't seem sure about me, or whatever. But I kind of think, although you and this person might mirror each other in certain regards, I think this person probably has a much harder time picking up on nuances and subtlety within conversation. So maybe, like, unless you're literally in their face saying, like, I want you to take me out, or I want to take you out, or let's have sex or something, they don't pick up on hints very well unless, you know, it's screaming in their face like that. And maybe you are a little better at kind of being coy or being flirtatious, so you feel like you were being obvious in your hints, but this person just didn't feel like they were getting enough confirmation from you, because maybe I'm getting like they struggle to read in between the lines. It's almost like this person needs a lot of reassurance, but they also really don't know how to ask for it. And so their response is maybe to be just a little bit more detached or a little bit cold and distant emotionally, expecting that the other person, in this scenario you, will just figure it out and be a mind reader, that this is their defense mechanism and a way to protect themselves from getting hurt. But on your end, you might be thinking, this is so weird, like my intuition is telling me there's something here, there's mutual feelings here, but this person is acting like they don't really care, or they're not making it clear they're interested. So, you know, out of respect for myself, I'll have to assume that they're not. So it's like this vicious cycle, because what they want more than anything is this reassurance and this sign from you, because they don't want to look stupid. But by trying to act super cool and nonchalant, it's making you think they're not interested and it's pushing you away. I'd say you definitely have more emotional intelligence than this person. That could be something that they have struggled with. It's like they want love, but they don't know how to ask for it. So they resort to almost these tests of thinking, well, if I pull back a little bit, if they really want me, then they'll try harder, because that will prove that they really do care and I won't look stupid for caring as well. But I think at the moment, like, that could have been what they've done in the past, but maybe at the moment they're realizing, you know, that wasn't the healthiest way of communicating. In fact, they weren't communicating anything at all. And I don't think these are even like conscious tests. I don't think this person is doing it maliciously. I think they are just deeply wounded, is what I want to say. Maybe they're realizing it wasn't fair to make you jump through hoops to get their attention if you guys did have a thing going on and it hasn't worked out. Or if this is a newer person, maybe they've realized they do have to take a little bit of a risk to get what they want sometimes. Like, maybe they've been wanting you to express interest because they need reassurance. And I think they're realizing, you know, it's unfair of them to expect that when they're not doing anything to facilitate that conversation, even at the very least. Like, this could be the kind of person who, when you walk into a room, they walk out of it, or they don't make eye contact, or they barely make conversation. And you could even think to yourself, what is this person's problem? They send me such weird vibes or signals. Like, sometimes I catch them looking at me, but then I make conversation and they ignore me, or they're rude to me. I don't get it. It's giving me a kind of like Edward and Bella vibe from Twilight. Like, if you've seen those films, like when she gets seated next to him in class and he's moving as far away from her as possible, so she like sniffs her armpit or something, but actually he's kind of obsessed with her and that scares him. So it's not like this person doesn't like you, it's the opposite. I think you make this person uncomfortable because they somehow feel like you'll be able to read them, or if you're in too close a proximity or something like that, they feel like you'll be able to see through this facade, so they just maybe avoid that situation because they feel like they're being obvious, even if objectively they are not being obvious at all, and in some instances you might think they don't like you or they don't want to be around you. But I think they realise like this is never going to happen if they keep acting this way, so they're feeling like they want to bring some justice to this situation. The legal field could be relevant to some of you in this pile, or maybe you or this person has a very strong sense of justice sensitivity. I definitely think this person is quite logical and quite scientifically minded. They could have a lot of air in their chart. They could be good with numbers or with tangible, worldly things, but maybe they're not as adept when it comes to social nuances. I think this is somebody who likes things to be ordered. Maybe they like the predictability factor of the practical things. They like things to just make sense, and they like things to have a reasonable explanation. And I don't think this is in a like Ben Shapiro, facts don't care about your feelings, insufferable kind of way. We do have the justice card, which makes me think this person does want the best for humanity, and they probably have a lot of strong morals that they might be vocal about. They could be, quite humanitarian or some kind of advocate. But I think they come to conclusions on certain moral issues in a very methodical, logical way. So for example, like they might say this is what's going to be best for the world based on this study or this statistic. Whereas some of us might approach it, I guess, in a more spiritual or more empathetic way, like we choose to act in a certain way or not act in a certain way because we feel called to do that in our soul, or we speak out for what's right because we truly feel what it would be like to be in a certain person's position. And a lot of us, we determine those things and come to our own conclusions based on both the intellectual and the emotional. It's good to have a balance. But this person, for them, it seems more mind-driven, and maybe they're less in touch with the emotions side of things, and that can lead to them intellectualizing a lot of their own emotions. But ultimately, I feel like you and them are on the same side when it comes to causes that are important to you. It's like you just go about it in different ways. This person could identify as kind of like a nerd to some degree. I mean, you both could. You or this person could be into tech or data analysis. I'm also getting something about gaming, and I'm also getting something about this person maybe collecting things, or one of you collecting things. I think this person definitely comes across as maybe quite shy and reserved and guarded. They don't always know the best thing to say in social situations, so sometimes they avoid it because they think they might get taken the wrong way. I also think this person is good at just not revealing too much of what they're thinking. They have a very neutral or a very stoic demeanour. They're good at not giving much away. This is a person who's good at deflecting and not giving a whole lot of personal information away. They could have almost quite a professional demeanour. They're good at kind of being like a blank canvas. This person, I think you will be surprised by how soft of an interior they actually have. And some of you are like, no, I'm not surprised. I know they're mushy on the inside, even if they try to hide it. And some of you can sense this because you do have a strong intuition, so you know that this person does care. They just maybe show it in funny ways. Some of you might be surprised by how fragile this person actually is because they present with this tough exterior. And again, like some of you are telling me, no, I know they are fragile. Like their ego is so fragile. And others of you, if you don't know them that well, you might not know this and you might think they're just so blasé. But the reason I say that is because of the armadillo. You know that I love my animal facts, and I had to mention this one about the armadillo. So apparently the armadillo's name in Spanish means little armored one, which is the cutest thing ever. And it just makes me think, like, you might think this person's walls are really high, but this person is so all about you that if you threw just one rock at this wall they've built, I think it would all come tumbling down. Like, it wouldn't take much for this person to feel vulnerability or openness. It wouldn't take much for them to feel out of their depth with you, and I think that terrifies them. So they try to give this impression of like, no, my wall is sturdy, you're not getting over it, you're not getting past it. They have to try and look tough because they are really, really not. The armadillo website I was on says only one species, the three-banded armadillo, can roll itself into a hard armoured ball to defend itself against predators. Other armadillo species simply dig a hole quickly and hunker down so that their tender stomach is protected and their armour is the only thing visible. So this person may be scared or reluctant to let you see their gooey centre, and this could be both of you. It could just be a case of both of you respecting each other and not wanting to creep the other person out or be too much. Both of you could think like, well, will I make the other person cringe if I tell them I feel this way? But I think on the inside, you and this person, you are both craving love, you're both craving connection, you are just hiding it really well. You're just maybe scared to show it right now. So that's what I'm getting for your oracle reading, pile one. I hope you're enjoying this reading so far. let's move along to the tarot and let's have a look at why they are feeling this way about you. Why do they want to take you hot to go? I will see you at your tarot portion, Pile 1. Hi Pile 1 Collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards that we pulled for you. So I'm just going to pop your sticker to one side, and the first card we have for you is the Six of Swords, and the clarifier is the Hierophant. We then have the Empress, and the clarifier is the Two of Swords. We have got Death, and the clarifier is the Ace of Pentacles. We have got the Hanged Man, and the clarifier is the Ten of Cups. And we have the King of Swords reversed, and the clarifier is the Six of Cups. Okay, so there are a few different ways this might be playing out depending on where you are at with this person. Because I mentioned at the beginning of the oracle, for some of you, you and this person have never been together and you are yet to even express feelings in some instances. Maybe, like I said, things didn't get off the ground. And for others of you, maybe you had more of a solid thing with this person, or it was becoming something, but it hasn't really gone anywhere and now communication is stopped or it's limited. Maybe you didn't feel like this person was putting enough effort in. So I will go into examples for each of those scenarios as we cover them. But regardless of where you are at with this person, I think the overarching message is that this person has realised that they need to facilitate open communication with you in order for this to go anywhere. Because maybe that's something they haven't been doing, but they are very much aware that they want this situation to progress. And firstly, I think one big realization they've had, and some of the why in terms of the reason they want to make this work, it's because they do believe that you and them are actually on the same page when it comes to your values and what you want from life, but maybe they are aware that they haven't been clear about that, and it's something they really want to express to you. And I think also they can truly see themselves growing with you. They've realised that they do want to nurture this connection, and maybe they've been reflecting on the fact that their words or their actions haven't been matching their true desires. I keep hearing they've learned a lesson here, so it could be they've discovered that they have been being difficult by not opening up or by refusing to acknowledge certain feelings that they have. But now it's like they are ready to move forward in this different way. They figured out you guys actually do share a lot of the same goals, and it's becoming clearer to them that this connection is the thing they want to commit to. But yeah, they know that the way they've been showing up and how they actually feel, that's just not aligning. And a big part of that, and again, this is something they have been recognizing, but a big part of that has been their inability to be in touch with their emotions and to show their softer side. But now they're wanting to connect with you to show that more. Because on your end, you might have felt kind of done with this situation. And again, that is going to manifest differently depending on where you are at with this individual. But maybe this person's actions or lack thereof left you with this overarching sense of like, you know, this person doesn't seem too into this, they're not making the effort, they're treating me like I'm an afterthought or like they have multiple options, they're not seeming overly invested in this, so maybe this person is just messing me around and we don't really want the same things here. And again, this person, because they do have that tendency to like over-intellectualize things, they are somewhat disconnected from some of their emotions. And if they don't pick up on body language and things like that incredibly easily, could feel like on your end you are dropping all the hints in the world, but they're not taking the bait, or they are continuing to be kind of cold or indifferent to you. This could even be the kind of person who teases you as a way of flirting. It is maybe somewhat emotionally immature, kind of high schooly, like they would insult you as a roundabout way of indicating that they like you. And in their mind, they see that as this big act of vulnerability. They see it as like, Pal 1 must know I like them because I don't tease anyone else like this. But on your end, you could be like, what the fuck? Like, I'm into you and you're just insulting me, so maybe you're not that attracted to me. It could even be this person literally ignoring you and acting indifferent towards you on purpose. And you see them being friendly with other people, but when they speak to you, they kind of shut down or go into this shell, and you're like, they must not like me because they're being kind of rude to me when they're fine with everyone else. Like, they just ignore me as much as possible. But on their end, I think this is because this is someone who maybe prides themselves on being quite logical, or I want to say like not getting drawn in by their human impulses and urges, but you kind of make them lose their cool a bit, and I think that's very uncomfortable for them. So maybe their defense mechanism was avoidance or was deflecting by means of winding you up instead of admitting feelings. I think this person usually feels like they are the ones in control, but around you, that's not the case. And that's really scary for them. And maybe it makes them want to act out. But as a way of maintaining that persona, they've been trying so hard to act like the cool guy or girl and coming across as kind of uncaring or apathetic towards this connection, acting like they have one foot in and one foot out, because their subconscious knows, like, if they were to give into this whole wall they've built, like we said in the oracle, it would come tumbling down at lightning speed. And they would really give all the way, and they are terrified of that. Maybe they haven't experienced that before, or maybe they have experienced it before in a previous connection that went wrong, and that's what makes giving into these feelings for you even more worrying for them. But like I said, they have been reflecting and they have come to the conclusion that, again, what they are showing you does not match how they have actually been feeling. And if you have had to pull back your energy, or you were like, I'm done at making the effort because this person is clearly not sure about me, they're not showing me that they are at least, this individual at first maybe couldn't see it from your perspective because the heat that they feel when they're in the room with you, it's so obvious and palpable to them that to them, they think you must be aware. I'm hearing like how much they're simping over you or how much of an effect you are having on them, like you can read their mind. But I think they've realised, well, actually, if I look at it from Pal 1's perspective, I guess it did seem like I wasn't too into it or that I wasn't trying. So this revelation, I think it's making them want to show you in a tangible way that they care. And that's why they want to take you out. So why they want to take you out to go is because they want to do things very differently with you and be more clear and assertive when it comes to like, this is what I want. I do want to take you out. I don't want to be around the bush, or I don't want to keep acting like I don't give a shit. You might have felt like they were kind of sitting on the fence when it comes to this connection. If they weren't being outright cold, at least, it could just be that it didn't seem like they were in any particular rush to connect with you or to make plans with you or commit to you. And that could have left you feeling like maybe they're not sure about me or they have other options. And that for you, like if you're a more passionate person, it could have been a turn off that they seemed unbothered or blasé, because maybe you're like, well, when I really like someone, I jump at the chance to see them or I take initiative to make plans. But this person isn't doing that, so maybe it's because they're not that into me. But on their end, a lot of this, I think, comes from them trying too hard to play cool to maintain this image due to like their own insecurities and their fear of rejection or of looking stupid or weak for liking someone. A lot of this could be due to past rejection or them maybe not being the best at picking up on hints. They could feel like that makes them not really understand humans generally, and in particular, maybe they're someone who has a hard time interpreting the differences between themselves and their preferred gender or genders to date. Like this could be the kind of person who might be sort of a dry texter even, or you might have said to them like, are you being off with me? Because they might come across as blunt over text or something like that. But on their end, I think it's like they are just trying to be neutral or matter of fact because they don't want to come across as too much. But in the process of that, they're kind of like making the other person feel as though they're not very enthusiastic. And I'm not saying that has to be anyone's fault. This could be someone who literally just takes things literally kind of at face value. But this could also be someone, because we keep mentioning neutrality, and this individual maybe being difficult to read, maybe they kind of just have a flat effect where they could be super excited about something internally, but you just wouldn't know it from an outside perspective. Like, I'm sure we all have those friends where if we post a selfie or something like that, our friends hype us up and post like thousands of flame emojis and say, oh my god, you are so gorgeous, I will literally die for you. And someone else could react to the same picture and just give it a like or just say, you look nice. And it feels more lackluster, even though in actuality, our friend who went crazy, who went nuts over our picture, probably doesn't have a crush on us. And that person who just said nice might have the biggest crush on us and we would never know. Basically, you might sometimes feel that with this person. You're sort of like, oh, I expected a bigger reaction, or I expected more enthusiasm, or I expected them to try a bit harder. But I think on this person's end, they don't want to go overboard and like freak you out, so they kind of play it cool. But in the process of that, it's sort of rubbing you up the wrong way, because you might be like, some people will be begging to take me out on a date, and this person just seems so blasé. But it is, I think, an act, like a definite act. And a lot of this is this person feeling that loss of control and feeling like they don't want you to suss them out, so they're maybe keeping you at arm's length. But I think a bigger part of their why in relation to this reading is like, they know they have to do better than this, is what they're saying. And in fairness, if communication has felt like an uphill battle with this person, I do think they are trying to move towards more stability with that. It does look like they have actually done some healing and they're aware of the way they're coming across. And some of it is to do with some kind of past hurt or lessons they've had to learn. It could be they've kind of shut down that softer side after being hurt by another person. And for some of you, you could feel like this person was hung up on someone else and that's why they weren't committing to you. You could have pulled back because you felt like a second choice or just another option to them, and that's not where you wanted to be. But I think this person is saying one reason they want to step up and take you out is because they're saying like, no, it was never that. If this is like an ex or something, it's never that they wanted that person back. That situation was done, but maybe they did need time to heal from the emotional baggage that they accumulated due to that situation. So it's not that they weren't over their ex, because those feelings were dead and gone. They weren't lusting after their ex or anything like that, but maybe they weren't fully over the situation and how it affected them on a personal level. They did want to start something new with you, but at the same time, because of this stuff that they'd internalized but they weren't fully looking at, they needed to properly process that before they could show up for you correctly. Maybe they'd got it into their heads due to this past hurt, like, I can't show anyone else my vulnerabilities, I have to act cool, I have to act nonchalant, I have to act like I have options. And that was a trauma response, maybe due to a time they had showed that softer side to someone and that person had abandoned them or made them feel bad for it. They could have then taken a turn and started showing up as this person who is like, I'm never going to let another person take my power by showing them how much they mean to me. But on your end, that could have put you off because you could have felt like, well, if I'm with someone, I want someone who is obsessed with me. I want them to make it clear how much they're into me. So this could have been quite off-putting to you. It could have made you pull back. But now this person really does want to show you it was never about them not being over an ex or something like that, or whatever situation made them feel like they had to hide their emotions. It was just due to their own healing that they had to do. It doesn't even have to be that this was a past romantic situation on their end. It could have been someone in their life gave them bad advice and told them they had to not show their hand, or they had to kind of play this game to get people to like them, and now they've discovered that that was kind of bullshit. And I actually think this is something that was stressing them out more than you realise, especially if this is a person who finds it hard to read others. They could have spent a lot of time due to this piece of bad advice, feeling like, oh, if pile one says this to me, I have to think of a response that sounds really cool but not too eager because I don't want them to think I'm desperate. But in the process of that, they just weren't being themselves, and not being upfront, it just added an extra layer of confusion to their interactions with you or with people generally. And it could have been, they've learned something different now. They've spoken to some kind of wise counsel about this. So this could be like friends who have better advice for them. As just one example, if this is a man who likes women and you're a woman who likes men, it doesn't have to be this one, but it could have been they asked other female friends or women in their life for some advice, or they showed screenshots of you guys having a conversation. And maybe the friends looked at those and they were like, why the heck did you say that? If I were pal one, I'd think you're not interested or attracted to me if you said that. Or maybe they're like, oh my God, pal one was clearly flirting with you and you just didn't take the bait, or something along those lines. And this person could say like, oh shit, I thought I had to say that to make women interested in me. It could be that they take the treat them mean to keep them keen thing too literally and just end up saying things that seem rude or that piss you off, and you were just so done with it. You just assumed like, okay, they probably do not like me in that way, or at least I'm not a priority to them. But I think this person has just been very confused about what to do and how to act. But they want to take you hot to go because they want to show you that they are no longer willing to block their emotions. They are not prepared to sit on the fence anymore, waiting for you to initiate. I think they're saying, it's you. Like, I'm hearing it's you. So they're saying, I do want this, I do want you. And I realise I haven't been showing it, but I'm willing to put in that effort. And it's because they can see themselves growing something with you. I think this is a person who is very, very soft and emotional on the inside. They might come across as this cynic or this person who is like, true love doesn't exist, it's just a mix of chemicals in our brain. Maybe they find romantic songs or movies cringy, but it feels like this is also the type of person who secretly yearns for all those things that they deny the existence of. Like, you could be watching a romantic comedy with this person and they are like making sick noises, or they're like, that would never happen in real life, that's not realistic. But deep down, very, very, very deep down, they're like, but I'd love it if someone did that for me. And they want someone to realise that without them having to show it. They do want their 10 of cups, and I think there's something about you that makes them feel very much at home. There's something about you where they just feel like you can read their mind. You're someone who makes them feel like maybe true love isn't a lie, or true love can actually exist, because the way they feel when you walk into the room, it can't be explained by logic. They're like, I can't logic this away as much as I'd like to. I think they are saying, you know, I do really want this with you. I want this fresh start, and I want to show you that I can be soft, I can have this mushy centre when I'm with the right person. And I think they're figuring out you are the right person. And that's not saying, you know, if you've only just met this person, that they're immediately going to ask you to marry them or whatever. But I think this is saying that they do absolutely see the potential with you. They want to ask you out because they feel like this could go the distance, but they have to put their pride aside and stop acting like they don't want it or they're too cool for it, because you both know that isn't true. I think this person has spent a long time thinking about you and trying to figure out what this is, what it could mean with logic, but when logic has failed, it's got them reminiscing on a time when they really did feel like love could be real. You've got them feeling like they have a childhood crush where they're utterly infatuated and they don't really know why. It could be that they've realised if you had to pull back from them, maybe they're like, I feel like I'm dying a little bit now, pal, wanna stop speaking to me. And it's been impossible for them to come to any other conclusion about why they can't stop thinking about you, other than like, I must be down bad. And it's not going away anytime soon, so, you know, there's no choice, I think, but to lean into it, to surrender to it, and for them to hopefully make a move sometime soon. They need to stop pretending like this isn't everything they've ever been dreaming of, is something that I'm getting, pal one. So that is what I'm getting for your tarot. We are just going to finish with a little message about what could be blocking this person, what might be stopping them from making a move. And I think we covered that in the tarot anyway, like what they've been considering. But I just want to end the reading with that for just a little bit more clarity. So let's have a look at the card we pulled for you. This card is from the Singles and Relationship Oracle deck. So let's have a look at what we've got. Ambivalent. You say you want a lover, but you're not all in. Take time to figure out what you want. Yeah, so that was kind of the word I was looking for. I kind of use words like apathetic or unbothered or blasé. But yeah, it's like this person has been putting on an act that they are ambivalent. They've not been putting in as much effort as what they know they should have done. And that is changing. I think they have realised like how they have been coming across, and that what they're saying isn't aligned with how they feel on the inside. But yeah, this just clarifies it all, doesn't it? Like, they've been shrugging their shoulders and acting like, I don't care, like, yeah, we can do this, or yeah, if we don't go out, I'm not bothered, I don't care. But they do care. They definitely do care, and more than they are letting you know, that's for sure, pal one. I actually think I'm going to end this reading with some confirmations from my handwritten oracle deck. Yeah, I might do that. Okay, so let's put these cards away and let's have a look at what we pulled for you. Okay, pal one. So for confirmations for you, we have Fire Venus, we have ENFP, enthusiastic, creative, spontaneous, optimistic, supportive, playful, value, inspiration, and enjoy starting new projects, sees potential in others. We have INTP, intellectual, logical, precise, reserved, flexible, imaginative, original thinkers, enjoy speculation and creative problem solving. We have Earth, Mars, we have Turkey, we have Spain, we have France. Somebody is expressive / talks with their hands. Somebody is an active listener. We have Body So Tea, the British are coming. We have sarcastic. For channel messages, we have you are destined for so much more. We have there are things I haven't told you and I don't know if I can, and that could be from this person. We have got your spirit team are with you. You can always call on them. We have got it's not the right time, but that doesn't mean it never will be. Somebody here likes being outdoors, somebody is in the medical field, and somebody is a coffee enthusiast. These could be confirmations for you or this person if you recognise any aspects of yourself within these confirmation cards. But that is what I'm getting for your reading, pile one. I really hope you enjoyed this reading today. Please like the video if you get a chance. That all helps me and it helps this channel so much. Please leave a comment as well if you get time. Even just letting me know which pile you picked if you don't feel comfortable, letting me know what resonated. That just means the world to me and I appreciate it so much. Sub if you haven't subbed already. With all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Take care and I'll see you in the next one, pile one. Hi pile two collective. If you chose pile two and you chose the final rose tarot and the sunglasses Shrek sticker, you are in the correct place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full breakdown of everything this reading will entail, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some information in the pinned comment below. If you want to have a quick glance at that, go right ahead. So today we are asking who wants to take you HOTTOGO, aka Hot to Go, this Valentine's Day and beyond. Why do they want to do that? And if they aren't making a move, what is stopping them from approaching you and SHREKSIN you up? So this reading was very clearly inspired by the song Hot to Go and by Shrek, naturally. So as usual, we are going to be starting off with your oracle reading. So I am just going to pop your tarot cards to one side for now, so we can focus on the oracle portion of the reading. So in a moment, we are going to be asking, who is this person who has the hots for you? How might you be able to identify them? And if you have a pre-existing relationship with this person, what is the nature of that relationship? What might the dynamics be like between the two of you? Then for your tarot reading, we are going to be doing a deeper dive on this, and we're also going to be asking why they want to take you hot to go, why they think you're a snack, what is it about you that has them feeling that way? Then we are going to be finishing the reading by asking what is stopping this person from reaching out and getting Shreksy with you. So obviously this won't apply if you are happily with your person, and in those instances where you don't need that confirmation, you are free to skip this section. But for those of you who are wanting to know, why hasn't this person made a move? Why haven't they reached out? What's stopping them, if anything? What do they feel is blocking them? Hopefully we are going to get some answers on that. So as always, little disclaimer here that these are collective readings and not every single detail is going to resonate. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. But with all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And without hesitation, let's have a look at the oracle cards we pulled for you. So we have, to start off with, humble honeybee, work ethic, camaraderie, drive, golden gem, adorning flowers, give me strength to realize my dreams. We have got a number one, profession, expertise, omniscience, talent. We have life cycles. In the cyclical nature of life, each ending is a new beginning, and each beginning is a chance for growth and transformation. And we have acts, breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, abandonment. Okay, pile two. So I always like to start by mentioning the numbers on the cards that have numbers anyway, in case this is an extra confirmation for you. It doesn't have to be for this to be your pile, but this could be relevant in terms of a date, an age gap, a birthday, a day, month or year, or an angel number or synchronicity you are seeing a lot of. So here we have number 1. So somebody could be seeing a lot of the number 111. We got number 11 in the previous pile, so there could be some overlapping messages from pile 1. Somebody could be born on the 1st of a month. January could be a significant month to you or this person. Capricorn or Aquarius could be relevant. The 10th house, the 1st house, or Saturn energy could also be relevant. Maybe something significant happened just 1 day ago, or 1 month ago, or 1 year ago, and maybe it was significant in terms of this connection, although none of that has to apply for this to be your pile. With that profession card showing up, this could very well be a workplace connection or somebody you met via work, although again, that certainly does not have to be the case. With the imagery on this card, it could very well be that somebody is a chef or somebody is in the culinary field. I am hearing something about a fast-paced environment, so it could be either you encountered or will encounter this person in an environment where you or they have to multitask, or this could just be indicating like this person is always busy, this person is always doing a lot, it always seems like they have to be in several places at once, with that omnipresence message specifically. I would say for a lot of you, this person we are talking about is very much a career person. They're not afraid of hard work. They are quite self-driven and self-motivated, and in some instances they might prioritize their work over other things in their life. But if it isn't specifically in relation to their career, like if you don't see them as necessarily a career person, it could just be that this is someone who, once their mind is set on something, it's easy for them to become hyper fixated on that thing. They're good at going after it, even if it means, you know, potentially ignoring other things going on around them. This person could have a very demanding job, but they are somebody who is quite committed to the work they carry out. They take it seriously, and they might tend to juggle more than they should, or they might tend to take on too much at times. They might be responsible for a group of other people, like maybe they are in a leadership or management position, or they are someone's boss, or they work with a team. So they always have to be present for the people they work alongside with. And that doesn't have to be the case. Maybe they're not anyone's boss, but they just feel like at their job they still somehow have people who depend on them, and they have to be there to make things run smoothly because they understand the importance of teamwork. This person could also be quite humble too, and I feel like if they are in any kind of position of authority, they are not the type of boss who would give like the crappy jobs to the people lower down. Like, they are not afraid to get stuck in with the hard work, and I feel like they treat everyone equally. They're respectful of everyone, and they're not the type to think like, oh, now I'm the manager, I'm too good to do XYZ. So I think probably colleagues of theirs have a lot of respect for them. Even if they're not in an authority position like that, it could still very well be the case that their job is demanding in whatever way that applies. Or maybe they work long hours or weird shifts. Like maybe they work in fast food and they're on their feet all day and they finish late a lot, and then they'll say like, oh, I stayed on extra because the restaurant got super busy and they wanted to help their colleagues out. And if this is a person where they do have a job but it's not necessarily their dream, I feel like wherever they're at in life, they are always focusing on and prioritizing their actual dream. So even if they work in retail and it's not what they want to do forever, it's like in their spare time. I mean, this person, it's like they don't really have spare time. I think that's the thing. But in their spare time, maybe they throw themselves into their other passions. And often they find they don't have much time for much else because they're either working, or when they're not working, they are pursuing their passions, or they are pursuing their education, or doing things that aren't work related, but they really want to throw their all into. And if their passions are work related and to do with a current job or a current form of education they're currently in, it's like a lot of their time is dedicated to that because they have this vision in mind of where they want to be, like where they want to end up. And you could have a lot of respect and admiration for that pal too. On the one hand, like these might be traits that you value in terms of this person, but it does feel like maybe for some of you, this desire to achieve, or in some instances to overachieve, takes precedence over anything else in this person's life. So maybe relationships and things like that have been put on the back burner. And again, that is going to manifest differently for each individual who chose this pile. But there could be something about like you don't feel like this person has any time for you. And we do have a few interesting cards here, and particularly with this life cycles card and with this axe card, this could very well be someone you are currently with or you have been involved with previously. And maybe this situation is in separation at the moment, or if it's not in separation, maybe it's not in the best place it could be, because perhaps you feel with this person like work or this other thing they have going on always seems to come first with them. So maybe in the past it has left you feeling neglected, or it's left you feeling abandoned, or like you are an afterthought. Or maybe just like you and this person don't get enough quality time together with one another to really nurture this at this current moment. And maybe you talk about this and you try to make it better, or you ask for more room for connection with this person, and then maybe it gets better for a while, but it's always this cycle of like then you'll return to the same pattern with them or something like that. Maybe you felt like this person was consistently prioritizing another situation over you, and it left you feeling like you didn't have a teammate or an equal partnership anymore. So I think for a lot of you in this pile, you might know who this person is, and maybe you've tried to make it work and it didn't work, or you are currently with them but things are a little strained due to them maybe not having the time for this, or you feeling like they were putting something else first. It doesn't have to be that they're putting work first, but I think maybe you are feeling like they are distracted from you in some way. For others of you, it could be like you are aware of each other, or this is someone you know of, but maybe it hasn't gotten off the ground and feelings haven't really been expressed, because there's almost this sense of like, I'm hearing there's no point going there because this person is so focused on other things, or there's something about it not being the right time, even though maybe both of you do have strong feelings. I do think this timing element is being highlighted here. Long distance could also be a factor with something like this. Like maybe you guys can't make it officially happen. You can't even get it off the ground literally because you live in different countries and flying is fucking expensive. Maybe you or this person have things you need to do before you can meet up. Maybe this person wants to commit to like having a certain level of education, for instance, or they want to make sure that they are putting all their energy into getting a qualification because before they enter a more serious commitment. Or in those instances where you are with your person, it could be that you feel they are prioritizing something else over you, and that's meaning you guys aren't getting the time you need together. Or due to things outside of your control, even like clashing schedules, you guys don't get to talk as much as you want to right now. So one example could be you're like ships that pass in the night because one person works night shifts and the other works day shifts, so it feels like you hardly see each other. Or if this person does have a demanding job, it could feel like, you know, you guys make plans, but then the plans get cancelled because this person always gets called into work last minute, or they're, you know, meant to be home for dinner, but then they end up working late. And so it feels like everything but your relationship is the priority. They're trying really hard to make something work when it comes to their goals, and maybe they're trying really hard to keep their work team happy as one example. But perhaps it feels like although you guys have all the potential in the world to be a good team, if for whatever reason it's just not being facilitated at the moment, and that reason is going to be individual for all of you, but maybe you just feel at the moment like you're doing it alone, and this person is throwing so much of their energy into another thing that it's leaving you feeling like they are not pulling their weight or making the effort in this connection. Somebody could kind of feel a little iced out here. Somebody could feel like giving somebody else the cold shoulder with that silent treatment card. This person could very well do some form of manual labour as well. It's just making me think that with this axe card showing up. So one example could be like, you know, this person might be absolutely exhausted at the end of the day at work at the moment due to whatever's going on, and a result of that is them not really connecting with you when they get home. Like, even if you live with them, you're in the same room, but it feels like you are on two separate planets because, you know, you're trying to communicate with this person and they are just zoning out or looking at their phone. And that could be making you unhappy because maybe you're like, you know, you can spend hours talking to people at work and being there for them, but you can't take an hour out of the evening to make time for me. Take it in whatever way it applies. But if you guys aren't living together or you're not even official, that could be, you know, you seeing that this person says they are tired, but then they are always online or posting things on social media, but they don't message you back or something. Like, they don't respond to your text frequently. Not all of these will apply. These are just random examples of how this situation could play out. Maybe you were just feeling like this situation is a little stale and they're not able to give it their all because of this other thing that they are choosing to focus on, or they have to focus on. Like, maybe it is more out of their control and it's just feeling like it's not the right time. But with me saying stale, this makes me think like if you have been with this person for a long time, that could just be due to the ebbs and flows of relationships generally. Like, if this person is working a lot, maybe you were just feeling like, oh, we're not getting much time for date nights anymore, or we're not having as much intimacy because this person is so wrapped up in their job or this other thing that they're focused on. And you just feel like you're sort of being left out in the cold. But on the other hand, even if you and this person have never been together officially, if it's just someone you're talking to, you could kind of feel like, why does it feel like it's only me holding down the fort or like making the effort? You know, why does this person take so long to reply to my messages? It feels like they can prioritize this other thing, but not me. So are they even into it? Maybe you are questioning that. Like, maybe you're questioning if the conversation is becoming stale, or this person is getting bored because they're more interested in something else. And maybe you're thinking like, is this person just in the right headspace for this right now? Because maybe they have to focus on this other thing and they're at a stage in their life where you're wondering if the timing will be right for this connection, because it just seems like they are so wrapped up and consumed in something else, or they are having to juggle too many things. And you're just worried that if it were to go further, or if it were to continue, you would continue to not be the priority. This won't apply for everyone, but for some of you, this could be a situation where you're not quite feeling at the moment like there's that camaraderie or support within this connection in whatever way that applies. And I'm thinking that because I'm looking at the stingrays on this card. So of course I now have to give you an animal fact. So I'll read out the following to you. This is from National Geographic for Kids, by the way. So it says, many stingrays like to live by themselves and only come together for breeding and migration. So for some of you, this is making me think that element of you not feeling prioritized or feeling like things are a little stale could come from thinking like, oh, this person only makes time for me when they want intimacy or something like that. So it could be like if this is someone you live with that you've been wanting more support from, but they're not showing up as a teammate when you need them to. But at the end of the day, when you guys get into bed, they're like prodding you for some intimate time, and the rest of the time it seems like they want to be alone. That could kind of grate on you, and it could leave you feeling underappreciated. And you might feel like giving them the silent treatment, like, why would I suddenly be ready to connect with you if you're not trying to connect with me during these other times, and you're only trying to connect with me when it suits you? That's just one example. It doesn't have to be that one, but that's what this made me think of when it said like they like being alone other than breeding. And it could be you said to this person, you know, I need more romance, I need the magic to be alive more, I need to feel like you care. And maybe this person tries to listen, they take it on board for a while, but then maybe they slip back into old patterns and the problems come back again, and you have to tell them what you need all over again. So you could be in that phase with that person where you aren't as connected right now, but if any of that resonates, you know, this reading is about who wants to take you hot to go. So, you know, to me, it is evident this person does want you. You might just be in a tough cycle right now, and it's going to be different for everyone. For some of you, this is exclusively due to something external, like this person has this inescapable demanding situation that's taking a lot of their attention. It doesn't have to be work, it could be, you know, something they are obligated to do, like a family situation or legal obligation or contractual obligation, something they're tied into. But for others of you, maybe this person just has a tendency to hyperfixate on certain things that are important to them, and maybe it's at the expense of this relationship. And obviously, if that's the case, that's not okay. Like if you try to talk to this person about that and it doesn't feel like you're being listened to. And for some of them, what they find important might not be important to you, and maybe you're struggling to understand how they can prioritize whatever's on their mind above the relationship. Like maybe their goal isn't to do with work, and it's to do with something more, something that you don't consider as important, like getting to a certain level on a game. So maybe you're hinting at them about getting intimate and they're too wrapped up in their game to notice. And even if you're someone who likes games, in those situations, you're probably going to be like, come on, like I'm serving it to you on a platter here and you're more interested in this game. Obviously not that example, it could be many things, but there is this sense of you not being sure if this person is all in because their mind is very occupied by other things. And I do think this is saying they are definitely interested, even if you guys are currently in a cycle where it feels like you are not being put first. And if you do feel that way, I'm not saying that's okay. It's not, and it has to change. And maybe that's what this person has been thinking about, and hopefully we're going to get more detail in your tarot. But I'm just saying, for some of you, this is just a difficult cycle you're in due to these extenuating circumstances. But like I say, we're talking about this person who wants you. So they are into you, they are attracted to you, they do want you if you need reassurance on that. Maybe timing's an issue, maybe circumstance is an issue, but they are feeling it, I think, more than you know. And we are going to go into the tarot and find out why, and hopefully get some more details on this. So that's what I'm getting for your oracle reading, pal 2. I hope you're enjoying this reading so far. Let's move along to the tarot and let's look at why they are feeling this way about you. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you at the tarot portion, pal 2. Hi pal 2 Collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. So to start off with, we have the 8 of Rings, camera guy. That is the 8 of Pentacles. And the clarifier is the 6 of Pentacles, quality time. We have got the Hanged Man, to be continued, the cliffhanger. And the clarifier is the Chariot / the limo. We have got the 7 of Roses / Wands, drama. And the clarifier is the 4 of Flutes / Cups, reflection. We have got Keep It Chill, that is Temperance, and the clarifier for that is the Advisor, which is the High Priestess. And we have got number 4, the Bachelor, which is the Emperor, and the clarifier for that is the Fool, which is the Contestant. Okay, so one thing I love is when the tarot is really taroting, and it just confirms everything we've been talking about. Because I'm sorry, but did we not literally talk about quality time in your oracle reading, and now we're getting the quality time card? So we're getting the 6 of Pentacles. So basically, I think this person is acknowledging that things have gotten stuck in a little bit of a rut recently, and that they need to start making you a priority. They need to start making time for you because they are aware that you are worth way, way more than what they're currently giving you. So I don't know whether maybe quality time is one of your love languages and you feel like you've been neglected in that way as of late. Or even if you have one of the other love languages and you feel like that isn't really being acknowledged. Like, for example, if you need words of affirmation and it feels like this person is barely getting time to talk to you, let alone reassure you about the relationship, that could have been getting you down. Or if you need physical touch and this person is constantly too tired for intimacy, or this person is only touching you when they want intimacy and nothing else, like, this person is realizing they want to give you what you need in whichever way that applies, essentially. Because this person does know, like, you are the best they are ever going to get. Like, you are the best of the best, the cream of the crop, you have the magic touch, and they're realizing, like, shit, I haven't really been showing Pal2 that I value them recently. And so they do want to do that because they know that you're someone who is worthy of that effort. And I think this person, and this doesn't apply to those of you where you've repeatedly expressed your needs to this person and they're ignoring it and they're not changing anything, even if they could do something about it. But I think for the most part, this person's actions, although careless, it's not because they don't care and it's not deliberate. Like, I think for a lot of them, maybe it's just their love language is different to yours. And so the way they show up in relationships is with what they need in mind, assuming that the other person will also view that as a sustainable way to conduct a relationship. But maybe on your end, you have needed more and you've put off your own needs to make this work. But now you need this person to step up and do their bit, and you're saying, like, you'll make certain sacrifices, because we all make sacrifices at some point for people we care about, whether they be small things or bigger things, but it can't go on the way it has been going on forever. And I think this person maybe wasn't aware of how much their actions or lack of action was bothering you, so now it's like they are stepping up. I feel like this is an acknowledgement of, I know I've not put in as much effort as I should have done, but you are worth the effort and I want to show you that. I want to really give to you. This person really wants to start putting their all into this connection and showing up in the way that you deserve. This person could definitely be trying to arrange something more elaborate for you, or at least more elaborate than what they would normally arrange. This person could actually buy a piece of jewelry for you. That might just be a random message for some people. It doesn't have to be that one specifically, but it's like they want to plan something that they know is something you would really, really want, rather than just something generic is a message I'm getting. Like, this person really wants to make it clear that you are not an afterthought. They want to give you something that makes it clear they have put a lot of thought into it. As one example, if this was ever the kind of person who showed up after work at 9 p.m. on Valentine's Day with a bunch of supermarket flowers, because that's what you do on Valentine's Day, even if you don't like flowers or you're allergic to flowers, some might say that that's better than nothing, and so you might feel bad for complaining about that, but at the same time, you were kind of thinking, this person didn't really put much thought into what I would like. So this feels like, instead of that, this person is going to be paying attention to the things that you really love to do and organising something based around that to prove that they are listening to you and they do care and that they know you, and that they also know that you're somebody who they want to continue investing in. You're somebody who they want to keep happy. Like, as one example, if you're into paranormal things, this person could plan a surprise date to go to a haunted house or something like that. It's arranging something that is more unique to you and your style, rather than, you know, just something that any partner would do. This person could want to improve their reputation in this relationship, or just when it comes to you. Especially if you said to them, you know, I feel like you're not making the effort to spend time with me, or whatever it is. Maybe you've said to them, like, you always have time to answer work things, or you always have time to spend with this friend, but not with me. This could be them acknowledging that they know they haven't been as attentive as they should be, but now they are wanting to put that time in, they're wanting to put that effort in. They're wanting to be attentive to you and to really give you a quality experience, because they want you to understand that they do care, and I feel like they want you to think more highly of them, because maybe they're aware that you guys haven't been in the best place recently. This person could have acknowledged that their mind has been occupied by other things and they genuinely didn't realise how much they were neglecting this connection. I'm also hearing the phrase, like, everything I do is for us. So I think this person wants you to know, particularly if this is a case of them throwing all their energy into work, it's because what they're doing now, like, they are working on that now. It's because they're working towards a future with you. And I don't think they ever intended for you to feel otherwise, but I think if this is to do with work and they are always putting work first, or just doing long hours and not having the time or energy to commit to the relationship by the end of the day, I don't think they quite realised the impact that that was having on you, or that it wasn't making you feel appreciated. So now they really want to sort of pull out all the stops and make it clear to you that you are very much appreciated. Maybe at first they just didn't see things from your perspective, particularly if they were stressed out or things were going on in their life that felt quite busy and hectic, because maybe their brain was preoccupied with all this other stuff, and then when issues were raised, maybe it felt like nagging or it felt like drama, because, you know, in their mind, they were thinking like, if I just keep my head down and I get these qualifications over the next year, then I will have the money or the freedom to spend my future more on how I want to. And that future always has you in mind. But maybe they didn't realise, as their head was down, focused on this one thing that wasn't you, you were literally or metaphorically not being seen. And they've realised that they can't just say like, oh, at this undetermined time in the future, things will be good and I'll be able to spend more time with this person. Like, because for the relationship to blossom into what they need it to be, they have to nurture it now. They have to put in the work now. Otherwise, you might check out and you might not even be around to be part of that potential future. So I think that realisation has hit them, and they've discovered like, you were never nagging or creating drama or making mountains out of molehills. Like, you were right that they hadn't been nourishing this connection, and they do really want to do better. For some of you, and this won't apply for everyone, but maybe just for one or two of you, you've presented some kind of ultimatum and you've said like you're going to have to take a step back, or you are going to have to end it if you are not being listened to. And I feel like that has really prompted this person to look at things from your perspective. With that Hanged Man, they know that things haven't been where they should be, and for some of you it might be due to things outside of yours or this person's control, like distance or time constraints. But despite the obstacles, I think this person is saying they want to fight for this connection. With this saying "to be continued," I feel like this person is saying, I'm not done with you yet. You know we're not finished here. Give me the chance to prove that I am listening to you, or that I can do better, or I can give you what you need. For some reason, I really just keep thinking that this person wants to treat you to something elaborate or something more lavish than usual. But this is giving me the vibe of like, when you're reaching a breaking point with this person, or when you're just about to give up, it's like they are saying, wait, I'm going to come back in a whole different energy. If you are anxiously attached or anything like that, it could be that you were worried that this person just wasn't that interested and they were pulling away. But in reality, maybe this external situation was just taking up too much of their time and energy, and that resulted in them looking like they were detaching. But really, I just think that maybe they didn't actually know how you were feeling. But now that they do and they are taking it seriously, they're really willing to try, because they feel like you and them can get through anything. We said it from the beginning, but this person could be someone where teamwork is really important to them, and maybe they have realised they haven't been doing their part, or they've taken it for granted under this guise of like, well, Pal 2 will always be there for me. And it's not in a way where they consciously thought like, oh, I can behave how I want and Pal 2 will just accept it, like they'll always be there. It's not that way. It's more like, we are always going to have each other's backs no matter what. Like, we are always going to be a team. So even if we are having this hard time, nothing is too big of an obstacle to overcome for me and Pal 2. But perhaps by doing that, they were ignoring how deeply it was affecting you, or how much it was making you pull away without realising. It's something like that. It wasn't intentional on their part. It was maybe just kind of ignorance of how much something bothered you. It kind of made you feel like, oh, they should know how I'm feeling automatically. But they really didn't, because I think they were so focused on something else, it just didn't really enter their head the way it should have done. But now they are wanting to do better. I keep getting that message just about them wanting to do better. It could be something that's kind of built up over time on your end, and they want to make it clear that their feelings towards you haven't changed. They are very much still interested, but they do understand your perspective here. I mean, maybe on your end it always felt like you were the one initiating plans and they were always declining. And on your end, it just seemed like, well, you know, it always seems like they have something better to do, or there's something more important they have going on than me. But on their end, maybe they didn't realise the effect it would have on you. Maybe they just assumed like, oh, Pal 2 will know that, you know, me declining this offer, it's not about them, it's just because I'm busy. And maybe they didn't realise that they were declining as many offers as they actually were. Like, maybe they didn't realise how much it added up over time, to the point where it got you feeling like, oh, they're always dismissing me, or they're always saying no or something, until you brought it up. Like, all the times you've tried to arrange a date and they've said like, oh no, I don't feel like it, I'm too tired. Maybe on their end they were really struggling with a lot of tiredness due to this demanding situation, but you kind of interpreted that as like, if they wanted to, they would. And it doesn't have to be that example, it's whatever sort of lack of interest you felt they were displaying. But they want you to know that's not the case, and they do really want to put the effort in with you now. So it's like they want to kind of prove themselves. It does feel like they know they were being a bit self-absorbed, but I'm hearing like they want to make it up to you. They want to make it clear that they do think about you a lot. And I think the main thing is too, like, they don't want to miss this opportunity. And again, going back to what we said in the beginning, I think this person is saying you are it for them. And maybe due to the energy they've been in, they were putting this other thing first because it felt so monumental and so important at the time. It's something they were so fixated on. Like, as one example, maybe they were really committed to building a reputation at a new job that they have. And they felt like, you know, nothing is more important than making a good impression with these managers because I want to get promoted. So I'm going to work late, or I'm always going to be around to answer calls or blow off plans at the expense of my partner to go to work, because they were so goal orientated. They had that singular minded focus of, if I do this, I'm going to get to where I want to be and then I'll have more freedom. But if they achieve that goal and you're not around to enjoy that with them at the end of it because they've neglected you, that goal will be pointless. They don't want that future if you're not part of it. So I think what they've realised is, like, I was having that fantasy about my future and doing all of this, but if Pal 2 isn't part of my future, what's the point? Because they're the person I'm doing it all for, and it's more important that they respect me and they see that I respect them. So it could be an ultimatum that gives them this realization, but it doesn't have to be. It could just be that maybe the relationship is threatened by some kind of external thing. Maybe they notice that you have a lot of options or that you do have attention elsewhere. And I'm not saying, like, if you and this person are married and they're having a hard week at work, this isn't me saying you're going to go and flirt with somebody else because they're not giving you attention for a couple of weeks. I just mean maybe if you're in more of a talking stage with this person, or you and this person are dating a few people, and maybe you like this person more and they start to feel like they have you, or they feel like they don't have to try as hard to keep you interested, but maybe like you get other offers, or it's clear you have people willing to put in more effort or offer more commitment. That could have this person feeling threatened and realizing, like, oh, I don't want to lose this opportunity. Maybe they notice that other people are always trying to get your attention, and it kind of makes them think, like, Pal 2 is the prize here, and if I won't, somebody else will. And again, it's not saying you're just going to dip out at the first problem you guys encounter together. Like, all relationships have ups and downs, and just because you go through a hard time doesn't mean you're going to be like, well, there's plenty of other people interested, so bye. But it's more like, if this is a consistent pattern with this person not appreciating what they have, I think something gets them to appreciate how important you are, and they really want to start showing that to you in tangible ways. That's something I keep getting. I think they know that they'll regret it if they don't try, so they're stepping up their game in this huge way. I feel like they're getting the big guns out or something. And we talked a lot about the why in terms of, like, what's going on and what's made them feel this way. But I think why they're wanting to take you hot to go specifically is not only because they've realised that they haven't been doing the best job thus far of this, but it's also because they can feel in their gut that you and them belong together in some way. The Temperance card can indicate soulmates, so this person could feel like you are the one, or if it's not that far along yet, they at the very least see a lot of potential with you. And I don't know whether something has happened recently where you've kind of pulled back some of your energy, but a part of it could be like this person feels they don't have access to you at the moment, so there's an unattainability factor here. But I'm not feeling as though it's in that toxic way of like, oh, I want Pal 2 because I can't have them. I think they are really understanding what you bring to the table, and if there's any kind of absence or separation here, they are understanding what it feels like to be without. Maybe the things they previously took for granted, what it is to be without those things. Take it in whatever way it applies. It doesn't have to be anything huge. It could be something minor, like getting a good morning text from you, or it could be something like you made this person's lunch for them to take to work every day and you've stopped doing that because you don't feel like you're getting anything back. You don't feel like it's equal give and take. And maybe if they took something for granted, that you just do those things and you just be there, like all these little things that you did for them, they're realising the impact that had now. They're saying all these little things that Pal 2 did, it showed me that they made the effort, and now I need to make the effort for them. I need to bring that balance back. And they're feeling like, you know, it has to be something good. They have to take you to someplace nice or do something they know that you specifically would love, because it really feels like they have to prove themselves to you here, that they haven't forgotten about you and that they truly do want this to be a balanced connection. They want an equal give and take partnership, and they are willing to do the giving because they realise they have taken too much. This person could have taken some of your emotional labour for granted with that High Priestess, and I think they've realised, like, you are this amazing support system for them. They probably feel like you are somebody who just always knows the right things to say. I also feel like you are this person's peace. If you've brought up any of these issues before, they are realizing that what you said is valid. And it's not because you were trying to create barriers or problems, it's because you wanted the relationship to work and for it to be harmonious. You wanted to overcome these things together, and they can see that now. You weren't trying to create issues for them, you were trying to prevent the issues that you could see occurring in this relationship, but they weren't really seeing those things as issues. But now they realize, like, you know, my life isn't just about work or about these external things. Things have to have a balance. I have to put effort into my interpersonal relationships. And they're also saying something like they want to take the guesswork out of it. I keep getting something about them acknowledging your love language as valid because it might be different to theirs. So that could be a barrier you guys have had to overcome. And it's something to do with them not making you guess what their feelings are, because they are actually showing those feelings in ways that can be seen, like ways that are tangible. Like, let's say their love language is gift giving or providing for you, but your love language is quality time. It's all very well this person working tons of extra hours because they're saying to themselves in their head, well, pal 2 must know that I'm working hard like this so I can take them on a lavish holiday. But on your end, if you don't care about a lavish holiday and all you care about is spending time with them and they're not showing up for that because they are working, that is kind of meaningless to you. And also, you might not know that they're even wanting to take you on holiday if they don't tell you that. You might just assume, like, oh, they'd rather be at work than spend time with me. And that's not true, but this is them acknowledging they need to show up in ways that are important to you. I'm getting Love Don't Cost a Thing by JLo playing in my head right now, so that could be relevant. I feel like maybe this person is very aware that they have lacked spontaneity recently, or you guys haven't been able to have as much fun with each other, and I feel like they want to bring that fun and adventure back into your life. So maybe this is them, like, kind of being less rigid and doing something off the cuff, like taking you on a surprise date, maybe even like blindfolding you and leading you somewhere. Because maybe you're somebody where in the past you felt like you always have to come up with the ideas and plan the dates, and this person, even if they do the right things by the book, they are a bit more happy to maybe always go to the same places to eat or get stuck in this routine that you might find a little bit boring at times. And they really want to, like, take you to someplace fun. I feel like they really want to see you laugh and smile again, and they want to spend some one-on-one time with you and just honestly, like, bond with you in a really sweet way. It could be that they realize once they start doing these things, they remember how happy it makes them to see you smile. They might want to, like, spice things up for you. They might want to arrange something exciting. And if you're used to planning everything, I think they're kind of going to want to take charge and plan it for you. They're not going to be indecisive. They are going to take initiative. And you're just basically going to show up with them having organized everything. And that could be something different to what you're used to. And it's their way of showing, like, you know, listen, I do hear you when you say you want more fun or spontaneity. You guys could be going somewhere all dressed up and they just tell you to dress up and be at a certain place for a certain time. And I feel like stuff like that really brings the spark back. And, you know, that's really what they want to do more than anything. This might be random, but this person could start taking more pictures of you. And I'm getting, like, candid pictures specifically. So if you are the person who has loads of pictures of this person, but they never take any of you unless you ask, they could start randomly doing that. Or if this is someone who currently isn't getting to see you face to face, maybe this person is looking at pictures of you or the two of you, and that is also part of their why. And maybe it's because something has made them realize recently, like, they value you and they value the memories you guys have, and you are what is important to them. They've realized that you are the priority and they want to make sure you know that. So that is what I'm getting for the tarot portion of your reading, pal 2. We are just going to finish with an oracle card from the Singles and Relationship Oracle deck. So we are going to be asking, what is blocking this person, if anything? And then I'm going to finish the reading with some of my handwritten confirmation cards. Okay, pal 2. So we have got giving too much. You are depleted because you give too much. You need a balance of give and take. Yeah, this is just what we said. Like, this person is realizing that they are giving too much to the wrong things and maybe not enough to you. So they are trying to bring that balance back. And maybe they have realized that you have pulled back, you have stopped giving so much because you are not getting the same in return. And that's what's made them kind of come to this conclusion. So let's finish this reading up with some confirmation cards. Okay, pal 2, so for your confirmation cards, you can pause the video if you want to have a look at them, but I will read them out to you. So we have Fire Rising, we have INFP, sensitive, creative, idealistic, perceptive, caring, loyal, values inner harmony and personal growth, focus on dreams and possibilities. We have Air Venus, we have, why is this upside down? We have has a vision board, we have New Zealand, we have reality TV is my guilty pleasure / pop culture junkie, somebody is an activist or advocate, somebody has excellent taste, maybe this person thinks you have excellent taste, somebody is nonchalant, don't give a fuck, or maybe that is how this person is acting and you are done with it, you want to see something different. Somebody here is actually very empathetic and compassionate, they have a sensitive soul and a gentle heart. Somebody is an active listener, I think we also got that in Pal 1, I think we also got Turkey in Pal 1. We have Denmark, we have Jamaica. For your channel messages, we have back to basics. Can we start again? Maybe somebody is asking to go back to basics with you and start again. This says, I better not catch you talking bad about yourself again. That's just a message for somebody. We've got you are meant to stand out and shine bright. We've got your journey is not meant to look like theirs, no more comparison. And we've got you are the one. So maybe this person thinks you are the one, pal 2. So that is what I'm getting for your reading today, pal 2. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did like the reading, please like the video. Please leave me a little comment, let me know what resonated. Or just let me know which pal you picked if you don't feel comfortable letting me know what resonated. That would mean the world to me and I would just appreciate it so much. Oh, if you haven't subbed, please consider doing that. That is the best and easiest way to support this channel. With all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Take care and I will see you in the next one. Bye, pal 2. Hi, Pal 3 Collective. If you chose Pal 3 and you chose the Real Talk Tarot and the Smiling Shrek sticker, you are in the correct place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full breakdown of everything this reading will entail, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some information in the pinned comment below. If you want to have a quick glance at that, go right ahead. So today we are asking who wants to take you HOTTOGO, aka Hot to Go, this Valentine's Day and beyond. Why do they want to do that? And if they aren't making a move, what is stopping them from approaching you and Shreksing you up? So this reading was very clearly inspired by the song Hot to Go and by Shrek, naturally. So as usual, we are going to be starting off with your oracle reading. So I am just going to pop your tarot cards to one side for now so we can focus on these oracle cards in front of us. So in a moment, we are going to be asking, who is this person who has the hots for you? How might you be able to identify them? And if you have a pre-existing relationship with this person, what is the nature of that relationship? What might the dynamics be like between the two of you? Then for your tarot reading, we're going to be doing a deeper dive on this, and we're also going to be asking why they want to take you hot to go, why they think you're a snack, what is it about you that has them feeling that way? Then we are going to be finishing the reading by asking what is stopping this person from reaching out and getting Shreksy with you. So obviously this won't apply if you are happy with your person, and in those instances where you don't need that confirmation, you are free to skip this section. But for those of you who are wanting to know, why hasn't this person made a move? Why haven't they reached out? What's stopping them, if anything? What do they feel is blocking them? Hopefully we are going to get some answers on that. So as always, little disclaimer here that these are collective readings and not every single detail is going to resonate. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. But with all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And without hesitation, let's have a look at the oracle cards we pulled for you today. Okay, so to start off with, pal 3, we have got Sassy Skunk, effectiveness, passivity, prudence, carefree critter of the woods, grab the attention of all those around. We have got number 70, real estate, wealth investment, mega project. We have got refinement. It is only in the recognition and acceptance of opposing energies that we can attain true balance and unity within ourselves and our environment. And we have got the runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. Ugh, okay. I hate this. Sorry, I know as a reader I'm meant to be neutral, but I feel like you can see the cards, so you know maybe who this is about, or you know what I'm going to say. Okay, but pal 3, I always like to start by mentioning the numbers on the cards in case this is an extra confirmation for you. Let's start there. So this doesn't have to apply to be your pile, but if it does apply, these numbers could be relevant in terms of a date, an age gap, a birthday, a day, month or year, or an angel number or synchronicity you are seeing a lot of. So here we have the number 70, so somebody could be seeing a lot of the number 7 or 0 or maybe 7070. I'm also thinking 07, if we flip the numbers around. Oh, and also like 007, so maybe James Bond or something. So perhaps somebody being born on the 7th of a month, or maybe July is significant, or 2007 was a significant year. Somebody could be a Leo or a Cancer. And so let's start by addressing the elephant in the room. And you guys did pick the Real Talk Tarot, so I feel like you are open to me being very, very real with you today. We have the Runner, so it could be that you are or you have been in a dynamic previously where you felt like one person was the runner and one person was the chaser. Now, the oracle portion of the reading is intended to be about this person's energy, so I would assume that for the vast majority of you, you might consider this person as having more of that runner energy. However, it is very possible that their energies could be flipped and you could be the runner and this is somebody that you know is kind of chasing you. And I'm going to talk about how both of those energies could manifest. But right off the bat, I want to start by saying that I think for a lot of you, this is a person who you have or have had definitely that runner-chaser dynamic with, regardless of who is who in that connection. But if it's not that, it could be you have noticed that this person has a tendency to run when it comes to other connections that they have had. So even if you have never had any kind of dynamic with this individual in a romantic way, it could be that you've noticed they have a tendency to either flip-flop between people romantically, or they don't tend to have very long-lasting relationships, at least not ones that you have witnessed. Therefore, you're led to believe that they are this runner or that they have some kind of fear of intimacy. And obviously this reading is about who wants to take you hot to go, so they are interested in you, but maybe on your part, you haven't returned this interest due to this runner dynamic that you've observed. Maybe this person is crushing on you, but you're like, they seem a bit of an F-boy or girl, or they don't seem to know what they want. I've seen how they treat other connections, and I don't really want to get involved with that. And I just want to reiterate, just because a person is into you, that doesn't mean you have to be into them. I talked about this in the intro if you do want to check this out, but if you're frustrated about this being a situation where these feelings are not reciprocated on your end, like if you were hoping for somebody else to come through at this point because either you're done with this dynamic with this person or you were never interested in the first place because you don't think they have your best interests in mind or you think they don't treat other people very well, then I am sorry that this is the person that's coming through, but I do have to be honest, so I am going to be, and I'm just mentioning that because for a lot of you, I think maybe this person is into you, but you're either not into them anymore or you were not into them in the first place, or maybe you were willing to give them a chance, but something has kind of given you the ick or you're not sure about them. So if you know someone who is into you like that, but maybe it's an unrequited thing, this could just be confirmation that your instincts are right about this person. But if you're looking for more of a romantic love story, I think maybe check out a different pile. And as I said at the beginning, you know, two things could be true at the same time. You are welcome to pick more than one. If you are not into this person, maybe it's still good for you to know how they feel about you, but also you could have more of a reciprocal situation going on at the same time. And I just want to put that out there because I know it's disappointing when we listen to a reading, wanting it to be a cute message, and then we're like, oh, for God's sake, not this person again. But like I said, I do have to be truthful. I mean, maybe some of you are into this person, but you're just not sure if it could be long term and you're here for clarity. So if that is the case, here I am trying to give you that clarity. So that's just an extra little disclaimer here for this pile in particular, because I am just feeling a little on the fence with this energy at the moment. I'm not sure if I love it. In fact, I don't love it. I said that. And maybe that's how you feel too. Maybe you have been on the fence about this person. I do think this person is quite set on you, but I'm just not sure if it's for the right reasons. I don't know, there's something concerning to me about this real estate card. And normally I don't get this with this card, but it's just making me think that this person might be more concerned by looking a certain way, or they might prioritize their image over their ethics or something like that. I think this person can talk a good talk, but I don't think they can necessarily deliver on the things they have promised. This person has a little bit of like a sleazy salesperson vibe, I'm not gonna lie. This is making me think of the stereotype of estate agents, you know, not always being transparent and maybe pressuring clients to go with like a bad investment. I'm sorry to any estate agents listening, I know not all of them are like that. I'm just talking about the stereotype of the bad ones in that line of work. This could kind of be like this person. They'll make all the promises in the world to convince someone to invest in them, but when it comes to taking action, they dip out or they run away or they can't deliver on their promises, so they just kind of become empty promises. This is also making me think of like someone who would con others into a pyramid scheme or an MLM scheme or something like that. I know these things are kind of specific and won't apply to everyone listening. This could be somebody who invests in cryptocurrency or something. I don't know why that's coming through, and I know it's random. This could be someone who has these like big ideas or these goals in mind of massive accomplishments they want to achieve, but they don't always seem to follow through on just one idea. They go from like one big idea to the next or something. It's like they get passionate very easily, but they might also give up just as easily when the going gets tough. They could be quite all or nothing. That skunk card is also making me think this person could wear a really strong perfume or aftershave, like you know when they come in the room because of this fragrance they're wearing. I think a part of this person's problem is they do like the attention and they like the excitement and the newness of things. It could also be that they like the idea of things, but when it comes to actually having the real experience of the thing they've said they want, they don't want to really put the work in anymore and they want to kind of move on to something else. And this could apply in terms of certain relationships they've been in. You could notice that this person will absolutely obsess or get hooked on someone, but then once they actually get that person, it's like the fantasy is better than the reality to them, and then they move on to something else. And it can be the same for a lot of their ideas, I think. And I'm not going to lie, this could be what they're currently doing with you. And for some of you, maybe they have truly grown and they've truly figured out what they want, but for a lot of you, I do maybe think this is just for like the wrong reasons. And that could be numerous things. It could be that this person is a person who has said they are ready to settle down or start a family, or they want this monogamous relationship because they like how that would look to the outside world. That's what people do, and this person wants to fit in and they feel like having these things would give them some kind of status. I'm also hearing the words prime real estate, but it's said in kind of like this weird way, almost as if this person just wants to be seen with you, maybe because it's good for their image or it would make other people jealous. But they'd just be trying to use you as some kind of prop or like a status symbol. Sort of like, oh, people will think I have something going for me if I manage to pull pal 3. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of the person you're with and wanting to introduce them to your friends and family and things like that. But with this person, I'm not going to lie, it feels a bit more superficial or like checking a box off a checklist. They're not like, I want to introduce pal 3 to my friends because pal 3 is who I want to build a family with, and I'd love to see them interacting with my current loved ones and my current family because they are going to be part of that one day. It's more like, I want to introduce pal 3 to my friends as a flex or as a brag. I want them to see who I've got. In the same way you'd want to show people a new car you bought or something like that. It is quite objectifying. I think this person has kind of a hard time figuring out what they actually think and what they actually want, because a lot of their thoughts are centered around what would impress other people. It could also be that this is someone who might use people they're interested in romantically to get the attention of other people they're interested in. Like they might brag about being taken now. This could be someone who uses the people they're dating as fodder to get back at exes or other people, kind of to prove a point of like, look how happy I am now. This could also be someone who, you know, maybe if they are part of a certain culture where they're pressured to get married or to have children, it could be they're seeing you as like the perfect person to do that with, but they don't actually want to abide by, I guess, the unwritten rules when it comes to that. And I'm not saying this to shit on you, pal 3, I'm really not. If this person thinks you'd make wifey or hubby material, it's probably because you would make a good husband or wife. It's probably because you have some beautiful traits that showcase that. But if that's something you identify with, I don't ever want you to waste those beautiful qualities on the wrong person, because there are lots of good people out there, but there are also lots of other people just in it for their benefit rather than what they can build with you. And I can't say what end of the spectrum this person falls on. It's going to be different for each individual, but I do think for a lot of you, this is an individual who is maybe not in it for the right reasons or not emotionally mature enough to consider other people. So it could be that they have a choice to make and they've like narrowed it down to you with that refinement card. This is making me think of someone who thinks they have options, like they used to have a roster, but now they're not considering any other options. They are focused on you. But is it for the right reasons? I don't know. I'm not feeling like it is. Maybe they've had this realization of like, oh, pal 3 is such a good girl or guy, they'd be perfect for me to settle down with and blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, if that became a reality, I don't think they'd have what it takes to be a good girl or good guy for you in return. Like, this could be somebody who would get married and kind of want to play house but has no intention of cutting off their thing on the side, or, you know, they want children to carry on their name or whatever, but they don't have any intention of putting in the work to raise children. Like, they'd still go out all the time and things like that. Those are just a couple of examples, but it adds to this feeling of they want it to look like they have things together and they have this perfect life, but they don't really want the reality of like putting in the work to create that life, because they don't really know what that reality entails. They just know like other people have these things and it looks good, so they want to like keep up appearances, and they think having you would do that in some kind of way. This could be somebody who is quite passive when it comes to conflict or difficult conversations. They could be easily spooked by displays of emotion. Like, having a conversation with them that is more than surface level things might make them run away or just ghost. They could struggle to take things seriously. Maybe this is somebody who is a little bit sassy, or they're always cracking jokes to wind you up. And if you try to have a more serious conversation with them, they just deflect or they just make a joke about it. Or on the other hand, you know, if you identify more with being the runner in this dynamic, it could be that this person has been trying to chase you down for a while, but there's something about it that's just maybe off-putting to you. And it could be a part of you feels like you think this person wants to change you into somebody you're not. Especially if you identify with being like more down to earth. If you find this person a bit of a show off, or they're somebody who always needs attention and validation from other people, or they care more about like who has the nicest stuff than having a deeper conversation. Maybe you feel like if they kind of got their hands on you, they just want you to be this trophy wife or this trophy husband, and maybe you're not about that. You don't want to like put on a show for other people. You don't want to have a performative relationship. You want things to be real. And maybe, you know, like you are just aware that you and them wouldn't see eye to eye on some of these things. And so that's why you've pushed back, or you're just not prepared to give them a chance. And they basically keep trying to convince you that you'd be great together, but you're not buying what they're selling, basically. This person could actually be in limerence with you. Like, they love the idea of you, even if they don't know you that well. And so they've narrowed it down to like, pal 3 is the one. And they've said to you, why won't you give me a chance? Come on. Maybe they say something that solidifies like you thinking, oh no, this just isn't the person for me. Because maybe as one example, you could be like, why do you think we'd be good together? Like, what makes you think that? And this person might respond with like, oh, I just think we'd look really good together, or we'd have really cute babies, or I could take you to this fancy place. And it's all just focused on like the material or the superficial, and maybe that's just not you. So maybe you're like, we are not a match, even if this person has been persistent on trying to get you to give them a chance. So it could go either way. Maybe this person just keeps trying and you keep running. But it could also be that they want you because they can't have you, or because you're not making it easy. So maybe you can be kind of sassy with them, or you shut down their advances, and they sort of like that. But again, this might not be for the right reasons. They could like you more because you're always just a little bit out of reach to them, and so they romanticize the idea of you in their head. It could be that this situation has flip-flopped. Maybe you used to chase this person and now they're chasing you because they're scared you've moved on, or you're not giving them the attention you once used to. It could go down in lots of different ways, but that's what I am getting so far for your reading, pal 3. And we are going to go into the tarot and find out why, and hopefully get some more details on this. I hope you are enjoying the reading so far. I'm sorry these haven't been the most romantic of messages so far, but let's move along to the tarot and let's look at why this person is feeling this way about you, and hopefully that's just going to give you a little bit more clarity. Thank you for listening so far, and I'll see you at the tarot portion, pal 3. Hi pal 3 collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. I'm just going to pop a Shrek over here. So let's have a look. Starting off, we have got the 8 of Wands in reverse, and the clarifier is the King of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 3 of Swords, and the clarifier is the Queen of Pentacles. We have got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, and the clarifier is the Sun in reverse. We have the 7 of Wands in reverse, and the clarifier is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. We have the 5 of Pentacles, and the clarifier is the World in reverse. Okay, so a lot of reversals here, pal 3, and a lot of this to me kind of confirms some of the stuff we were saying during the oracle reading. Now, for a lot of you, I do get the sense that you have like totally moved on from this person, if you were ever even into them in the first place, and some of you aren't and never have been. But if this is like a past person in whatever way that applies, I think you're very much done with it, and maybe you're just here to confirm that you've made or you are making the right choice on that. I think you are probably going to be very aware of this person lingering in the background, because this is somebody who does tend to make their presence known. I keep getting this kind of beggy, like used car salesman kind of vibe from this person, but the car they're trying to sell is themselves. And this car is a shitbox. This car isn't safe for the road. It didn't pass its MOT, but they are trying to like palm it off on you anyway. They're saying, come on, it's a really good deal. It's a bit of a fixer-upper, but you are not going to get this value anywhere else. But it's like the wheels are falling off and the engine is about to explode. It is an accident waiting to happen. And I'm sorry, I feel so bad because I don't like comparing people to objects in that way. Obviously, this is just a metaphor. But I am, I guess, taking a leaf out of this person's book, because that might be kind of how they refer to people in this sort of objectifying way. But this could be somebody who you feel is kind of pestering you to give them a chance or say yes to a date. And I honestly, I just don't think you're about it. I think either, like we said, you never were to begin with, because you can sense that you and this person just aren't a match, at least not in the energy they are currently in. Or you did give them a chance in the past, but now it's too late and you've moved on and now they feel like it's a missed opportunity. But I don't know, like, why do I feel as though they're asking you to give them a chance and you are just saying no to this person? I think that is the message I keep getting. They want to take you hot to go because they are trying to convince you, like, come on, we'd be perfect, or things will be better this time, or we'd make a really good match, just give me a chance. They feel like there's some kind of tension or unfinished business here. They feel like there's a cycle that hasn't been completed. But on your end, you could be saying, nah, I'm done with this cycle. Or you could kind of be saying, you know what, I don't need to physically go through every cycle to know that some things aren't good for me. So I guess that depends on whether or not you do have romantic history with this person. But it's like you are done with that particular pattern, or you're saying, I'm not even starting this cycle because I've seen how they go through these cycles with other people, and I am taking myself firmly out of that equation. But I keep hearing that this person is saying I have to know, like I have to know what it's like, or something along those lines. So maybe they've become sort of obsessed and infatuated with this idea of you because you've said no and that's hurt their feelings. And so you have become this exclusive, unattainable thing that they kind of fantasize about because they've never had a real taste for it. So they're saying like, I just want one chance. Or even for some of you, I just want one night. It could be like they think they're in love with you, but it's actually more lust, or it's actually more limerence because you are this challenge for them and you've become this hyperfixation, I guess. And like, even if they know they couldn't be with you long term for whatever reason, they are saying like, I just need one night. They just basically want to get whatever they can get with you, no matter the cost. And that could actually be a little bit off-putting to you, that this person can be impulsive, or they don't always think about the consequences or the repercussions that this might have on other people. So you could kind of be wanting to say to this person, like, where are your morals? Like, where is your self-respect? This is making me think maybe some of you are in other happy relationships, and so you're just not at all entertaining this person and you've told them it's not happening, but they are being persistent, or they're like, oh, I don't care if you're with someone, I just want you. And that just kind of gives you even more of the ick that they'll go to any lengths to have you, even if it means hurting somebody else. That just makes you certain they are not for you because they lack morals. I'm hearing that Doja Cat song too. I think it's literally called Need to Know. Or it could be that you know this person has a person and they're still flirting with you, or they're still making it clear that they are open to you. And maybe that puts you off too, because you're like, well, if you can do it to that person, you could probably do it to me too. It's just this one something about them that you're really not a fan of. Again, there's some element of unattainability being a factor here in the why, and then prioritizing the excitement and the newness and that dopamine over something long lasting. And I think some of them have convinced themselves if they can't get you off their mind like this, then it must be love. But actually, a lot of them, I think, are in more of a lustful energy. And going back to what we said in the Oracle, it's kind of this case of wanting what they can't have, or always yearning for something that is like perpetually out of reach. It's like they get off on that. And that could be frustrating for you, Pal 3, because you could have been pretty clear with them that they're not getting another chance, or they are not getting a chance in the first place. But it's like this person wants you more because they feel like you're leaving them out in the cold. And remember too, like, this is someone who kind of feels the need to prove themselves. So if you have been a little bit sassy with them, if you've had a bit of an attitude with them and you've been like, you know, I don't think you're up to the challenge, I don't think you're good for me, that kind of spurs them on more because they want to come and prove to you, like, no, I can be what you want me to be. But I think they don't really know what you want, pile 3. They're just assuming based on their own list of wants or the things that they themselves are checking off a checklist. I think it's like you are this Queen of Pentacles and they see themselves as the King of Pentacles, and so they conclude that you guys are a match. But they are actually a distorted King of Pentacles, and they are deluded about that. They're deluded about who they are and what they have to offer and how valuable you might find some of the things that they are offering. And it doesn't matter what the genders are here, by the way. I'm just using king and queen because the king is reversed and the queen is upright if we look at these cards. So I feel like this upright energy is your energy and it's what this person thinks of you and it's part of their why. So they are kind of putting you on a pedestal in a way, but they're also deluding themselves into thinking like, oh, if I had pile 3 on my arm, we would be this amazing power couple. Everybody would be in awe of us. But really, they're maybe overestimating what they bring to the table. And in actuality, in that situation, you'd probably be spending a lot of your time fixing things for them, lifting them up. This person might have a delusion that you're kind of going to come in and just fix everything for them, like their life will be magically better just by being with you. But I think they might misinterpret what you need from a connection and what you want from a connection. And one example of this, because the Queen of Pentacles, I always think of her as really bougie, really well taken care of. So maybe that's you. And let's just say, for example's sake, that you are the woman in this dynamic and this person is a man. It doesn't have to be that way around. It can be whatever. But like this person might see that you are always looking really refined and well put together and that you take care of yourself. Maybe your skin and your hair and your makeup always looks great. You dress very well, you look sophisticated, maybe your nails are done nicely and things like that. It doesn't have to be that example, but just go with it for the sake of this example. So this person could form an opinion about what it is that you value in a connection based on this image that they have of you. So maybe they assume like, oh, it's going to impress pile 3 if I tell them how much I earn or what car I drive, because clearly they like to spend money on these nice things, so they must be high maintenance. So they could be the kind of person who talks about like being a provider and things like that, but it just makes it sound like they're bragging and it just kind of makes you cringe, because on your end you could be like, well, yeah, I mean, I like these nice things, but I can provide them for myself. I do these things for myself, and what I want in a partner might not have anything to do with how much they earn. Like maybe you're looking for that deeper connection. But because this person is very image conscious and you have an image that they approve of, they jump to thinking that you must be the same as them or you must value the same things as them when you really don't. And it doesn't have to be that exact example. It could just be that you are attractive and they assume that you'd want a certain type of guy or a certain type of girl. And so they try to convince you to give them a chance by making out like they are that person. But the whole time it's just off-putting to you because you never even asked for that and it's never what you wanted in the first place. I don't know, that's a message I'm getting for somebody, but it just feels like the more you pull away, the more this person starts to turn into the chaser in this dynamic. But a lot of it is that their feelings are wrapped up in gaining your approval, because maybe they don't feel like they've ever had that. But what's frustrating about it, it's like they put all their energy and put all their enthusiasm into making you think they are this kind of person. They put on an act to make people around them believe they have things going for them, instead of actually working on themselves and becoming somebody who has things going for them. They expend such a lot of energy on kind of faking it till they make it, but they are not working on the making it part. I'm almost getting like this person is shocked and heartbroken that you don't want to give them a chance. And that's not me making you responsible for their emotions, pile 3, because I fully believe that if you are not interested in this person, it's obviously for a very valid reason. And I encourage you to listen to your intuition if it's telling you something about this would not lead to good things for you. But obviously this is a reading about their perspective, so I am just trying to explain that in the best way that I can. But I think a lot of this could be, maybe this person is a little bit spoiled, or they're used to charming their way out of things, or they're not used to people saying no. So maybe any kind of rejection hits them harder because they're just not accustomed to it. But I think another part of this is, this person thought you and them were like birds of a feather, but you are very, very different to them, and they just couldn't see it because they were making assumptions. So again, that's not on you, but it has left them feeling like, oh no, we'd be so good together because we are the same, but you're not. And I think that could even be the case, like if this is someone you were ever friendly with, maybe at one point you did kind of get along with them, but you know you guys would never work out in a relationship because there were things about them that you just didn't like. And I guess an example of this could be like, if you've been friendly with this person in the past, maybe you've seen the way that they have treated other potential romantic interests, and that's made you like, I don't ever want to be part of that. But it's like this person is living in Delulu land, or they're not fully wanting to understand the reasons why you're cautious or why you're saying no. Like, if this person has said to you in the past something like, I've never had a partner who I have been faithful to, or I've never had a relationship that's lasted longer than a month, obviously your guard is going to be up. And when they're saying like, oh, but why won't you give me a chance? We'd be so great together. And you're like, well, you've just told me that you've cheated on every single one of your partners, or you have like this revolving door of partners, and I don't want to be part of that. And they're like, yeah, but I would never do that to you. Like, you're special. They try, and I don't want to say love bomb you, because I don't think it's as extreme as that for most of you, but I think they truly think in their head, if I was with pal 3, I would be different. But again, that's not fair, because they're putting the onus onto you to be this perfect person who makes them want to change, instead of going inwards and realizing that if they want to change, they need to do the work themselves. They can't just depend on you. They need to motivate themselves to be different. This could also be like, maybe you've heard them making objectifying comments about romantic interest in the past, and that's put you off. This could be the kind of person who rates people as if they're products on Amazon. Like, oh, this girl I hooked up with the other night has amazing boobs but a really flat butt, so I give her a 7 out of 10. And it makes you like, ew, I could never be with you, knowing you'd say things like that. Like, it's really childish. Or maybe they're the kind of person to put other people down to lift you up, and they think they're complimenting you, but you don't like it. They could also sometimes sort of tease or neg you. And it could be this behaviour where even if they are putting on their best act or behaving like a person who you could potentially be into, there's this one behaviour that just has you like, no, I just can't see past it. So for those of you where you have thought, like, could I be interested in this person? There's this thing that presents as a red flag, and it just stops you going further. And I think that's probably your intuition sensing something off in what this person says. And for some of you, if you've known them for a while, it might be easier to see what that is. But for those of you who have been kind of more on the fence, one example could be like, maybe you went on a first date with this person, and although they ticked some of your boxes or they didn't say something outright offensive, there was just this one thing that you couldn't quite put your finger on that was kind of off-putting, and it made you not want to go on a second date. It could just be this small thing they did or said that gave you the ick. Maybe even the way they spoke to the waiter, or maybe the way they talked about their ex. I don't know, but it was this small thing that had you like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And maybe when they asked you out again and you were like, thank you, but no thank you, you could have thought like, am I being too harsh? Should I give them another chance because maybe they were just nervous or they didn't mean it? And I can't tell you what to do, obviously, but if it is this person that we're talking about, I would say, I think your doubt and your intuition was probably for a good reason. So do with that what you will. Don't dismiss your inner guidance when it comes to this person, is all I'll say. I do think one of the problems with this person is that they're viewing you, a human person, as an investment for them rather than someone who they intend to build with. And they do this with everyone, I think. It's not that like they just want to use you specifically, but I think this is just how they view people. It's always in relation to like what that person could do for them. And it could be that they have this expectation that you are going to build them up rather than them taking the necessary steps to build themselves up. And again, a lot of this is them romanticizing things. You could have a very nurturing, caring streak. You could be someone who people feel comfortable opening up to very easily, like you have a very warm energy. And this could be one of the things that initially attracted this person. And maybe they see that you have your shit together, or that's how you come across. So they see you as someone who could help them get their shit together, but they're not really considering what they can offer you. This could be a person who's like, oh, I bet you could cook me amazing food. And for the right person, you might be like, yeah, I can make this or I can make this. And this person's all excited. But when you're like, oh, so what would you make me? They laugh it off and they're like, oh, I can't cook. They haven't even thought about what they'd offer you, but they just expected you to offer them something, if that makes sense. It doesn't have to be that exact example. I do think part of this person's why is because they get caught up in the excitement of it all and because they want what they can't have. They get caught up in the fantasy of things. And a part of this fantasy, unfortunately, is it's like they've got latched onto this idea of, you know, if I get with pal 3, my life will fall into place, things will be perfect, and I'll get back on my feet. It's like they think that if they get a chance with you, everything in their life will just miraculously start going right. Maybe they feel like you could put them on the right track, but you are not their mother. Like, that is their responsibility. They can't put that on you. You're not their mum, you're not their dad, you're not their parent. There's a lot about this person being hasty and reckless and irresponsible here, so that could be in relation to finances, but also how they conduct themselves in their interpersonal relationships. Maybe this person has had difficulty holding down jobs, or they get involved in scams and end up worse off money-wise, or maybe they gamble or something like that. literally, but it also could be, you know, they tend to be a gambler when it comes to other people's feelings. You know them as somebody who maybe uses poor judgment, they make the wrong choices, and a part of their why is like they think that you can fix them or help them make the right choices. But again, that shouldn't be on you. This could be the kind of person who humble brags about the romantic partners they've had. And maybe they're like, oh, you know, I've always been a bit of a player, or I've never wanted to settle down, but you seem like just the kind of person who could make me want to change. And I just feel like that's extra work for you, and for what? Like, I don't think you want somebody who is a project. And I think that's the main difference between you and this person. They idealize the idea of somebody coming and completing them, but you are a complete person all on your own. And you want your partner to be qualified in that they are also a complete person all on their own. And the two of you can connect and add to each other's lives in this mutual way, rather than one person having to pour into something that another person lacks. I think this person wants to come in and promise you the world, but they can't really deliver. This person could just feel like they've made a mess of their lives, and they see you as the one to clean it up. They see you as this savior who's just going to step in and be like, oh, it's okay, you ran somebody over again. Don't worry, I'll hide the body for you. Like, not that extreme of an example, but it's about them not recognizing their own patterns and continuing to make the same mistakes. And I think I use that example because if you are drunk driving and you hit someone, that should be a wake-up call. I mean, you shouldn't do it in the first place, obviously, but I mean, if you do it, that should be the point where you face the consequences and you promise yourself, I am never ever going to do that again. I'm never going to do anything like that again. But this person has in the past found a way to escape the consequences. It's like they've hit someone and just pretended it didn't happen and just driven off, and somebody goes to clean up that mess for them so that they don't have to think about it, and then the same thing happens. It's like a repeated cycle. And I do think, you know, you sense this, maybe you needed some answers on it, maybe you know they are not in this for the right reasons, or you have said to them literally, you are not for me, but they are still just like, give me a chance. This person could feel like they want to be seen out with you because you add to their aesthetic, so again, sort of treating you like a trophy. This person wants to maintain a certain image for the gram, like they pay for pictures on a private jet, meanwhile they might owe several people money and they aren't paying it back. This person also reminds me of the Reddit thread Choosing Beggars, if you guys have ever looked at that. So one example, this could be the kind of person who posts asking if somebody can donate some clothes or shoes because they're saying they're desperate, but then they're like, I don't even know what a cool brand to have is these days, but they could say like, oh, name brand only though, because they're so concerned over their image, even above their actual own well-being. This person could have very new money kind of vibes, like they fake opulence because they think it makes them more worthy somehow. And they feel like having you would be part of this thing where people compliment them or congratulate them. They think that it will give them status. If you guys do have any amount of wealth or money tucked away, especially, please be careful with this person, because I know you wouldn't fall for it, but they could attempt to get you to invest in another one of their crazy ideas that isn't going to go anywhere. And you could end up wasting a lot of money on something that isn't going to work out. If some of you do come from any kind of like affluent or well-known family, that could be part of this person's motives. I'm not going to lie. They could be thinking, you know, again, what it would mean for them to marry into that family, how they can benefit from that. But if it's not that, like the status thing, this person could just feel like they've lost your respect or they've lost their moral authority here and they want to get it back. They desperately want you to see them as a good person, but I think you can sense that it's a mask. This would be the kind of person to film themselves giving money to a homeless person as a kind of like, look at what a good person I am thing. It's just disingenuous though. It's not coming from a place of really wanting to give, it's just more about how they are seen. If you have ever been involved with this person before, it could be that, again, because they tend to see individuals as possessions, they still think you are theirs and they haven't been willing to let you go. But maybe they feel like they've really lost you this time, so they're trying to put on a show to like win you back. But I think you're not taking it seriously, you're not interested, and probably for good reason. You could actually find their enthusiasm for this is more of a hindrance. You know, you don't mind people pursuing you when they know what they want. That might usually be a positive characteristic in your books. But you, I think, have this sense that with this person, it's maybe not for the right reasons, because for those of you who have known this individual for a long time, it's like you know them so well that you've seen them in this pattern before, you've seen them act this way with other people, and you just know they are focusing on winning or getting their way, and you know that once they get it, they are going to lose interest because that is their cycle. They just struggle to stick with anything. So you could see this over-the-top enthusiasm more as desperation, and the more they do this, maybe the more it puts you off and just makes you think this is too much, like this person needs to give it a rest, they need to let me go, they need to give up. I'm seeing it's going to be a no from me, so that could be what you are saying just about this whole reading. So I am really sorry that that's what we are getting for you, Pal 3. I am going to finish this reading just with a little bit of confirmation and advice from the Singles and Relationship Oracle deck. So let's have a look at what we've pulled for you. Okay, Pal 3, we have got sex only. Either you or your partners only want sex, except that it's okay to reach for more. Yeah, so I think this is kind of similar to what we were saying. Like, I think this person thinks that they're in love when it might be just lust, or it might be a case of wanting what they can't have. And they do want it. They want it really, really desperately. They want to take you hot to go. They do want to get spicy. But could they be the person that you would need them to be long term? I don't think so. I'm not going to lie. That is where I'm going to leave this reading. Actually, no, we are going to give you some more confirmation cards with my handwritten deck. So these might be extra confirmations for you. Just one of them might apply, none of them might apply. But yeah, we're going to end with that section. Okay, you can pause the video if you would like to have a look at these cards, but I will read them out to you. So for confirmations, we have a couple of MBTI types. We have ENFJ, caring, enthusiastic, idealistic, organised, diplomatic, responsible, skilled communicators who value connection with people. We have ESFJ, friendly, outgoing, reliable, conscientious, organised, practical, seek out to be helpful and please others, enjoy being active and productive. We have Aries, Mars or first house energy being significant. We have somebody being an Earth rising. Somebody is a Scorpio, Pluto / Mars or 8th house dominant. So Mars energy showing up again. Very shrexual energy coming through. Very obsessive energy too. Very dynamic. We have Venusian starseed. We have Portugal. We have the Philippines. We have somebody is musical. Somebody is a singer, songwriter, plays an instrument, loves music or musicals. Somebody is an artist, loves painting, makeup, graphic design. Somebody is creative, they are a writer or poet. Somebody is interested in herbal remedies / alternative medicine. Somebody is the mom friend, takes care of people. Somebody is androgynous. Somebody is always cracking jokes in serious moments. Somebody is suave / charismatic or charming as fuck. I think this person thinks they are. I don't know if you interpret them that way. I don't think you do. We have got for channeled messages, you are meant to stand out and shine bright. We have got I didn't mean what I said. Maybe they just like made something up to impress you and they're saying they didn't mean it. We've got trust the process, and we've got I think about reaching out. Yeah, this person definitely thinks about reaching out and they probably do reach out and it probably annoys you. So yeah, that is what I'm getting for your reading, Pal 3. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did like the reading, please leave me a like. If you get a chance, please leave me a little comment. Let me know what resonated. If this is about a person, like a past situation or somebody you are done with, please let me know what's going on because I am nosy and I'd love to hear from you. And if you don't feel comfortable, let me know what resonated. Just let me know which pal you picked. All of that would help me and help this channel out so much. I would really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your day to listen. Take care and I will see you in the next one, Pal 3. Hi, Pal 4. If you chose Pal 4 and you chose the Gourmet Tarot and the running Shrek sticker, you are in the correct place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full breakdown of everything this reading will entail, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some information in the pinned comment below. If you want to have a quick glance at that, go right ahead. So today we are asking, who wants to take you HOTTOGO, aka hot to go? Why do they want to do that? And if they aren't making a move, what is stopping them from approaching you and Shreksing you up? So this reading was very clearly inspired by the song Hot to Go and by Shrek, naturally. So as usual, we are going to be starting off with your oracle reading. So I am just going to pop your tarot cards to one side for now so we can focus on these oracle cards in front of us. So in a moment, we are going to be asking, who is this person who has the hots for you? How might you be able to identify them? And if you have a pre-existing relationship with this person, what is the nature of that relationship? What might the dynamics be like between the two of you? Then for your tarot reading, we are going to be doing a deeper dive on this, and we are also going to be asking why they want to take you hot to go, why they think you are a snack, what is it about you that has them feeling that way this Valentine's Day? Then we are going to be finishing the reading by asking what is stopping this person from reaching out and getting Shreksy with you. So obviously this won't apply if you are happily with your person, and in those instances where you don't need that extra confirmation, you are free to skip this section if you prefer. But for those of you who are wanting to know, why hasn't this person made a move? Why haven't they reached out? What's stopping them, if anything? What do they feel is blocking them? Hopefully we are going to get some answers on that. So as always, little disclaimer here that these are collective readings and not every single detail is going to resonate. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. But with all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And without hesitation, let's have a look at the oracle cards we pulled for you today. So to start off with pile 4, we have got Observant Octopus, Complexity, Multitasking, Ingenuity, Shape-Shifting Guardian of the Sea, Grant Me the Power of Transformation. We have got number 72, Friendship, Team Connection and Network. We have got Fortune, Open yourself up to the infinite blessings of the universe and welcome unexpected abundance and joy. Trust that all you need is provided by the divine flow of the cosmos. And we have Cassette, Outdated Thinking, Conditioning, Replaying Events over in your head. Okay, pile 4, so I always like to start by mentioning the numbers on the cards, in case this is an extra confirmation for you. It doesn't have to be for this to be your pile, but it could be that these numbers are relevant in terms of a date, an age gap, a birthday, a day, month or year, or an angel number or synchronicity you are seeing a lot of. So the number 72 or the numbers 7, 2 or 9 could be significant to you. Somebody could be born in 1972, somebody could be born on the 2nd, 7th or 9th of a month, somebody could be born in February or July or September. We could have some Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer, Leo or Virgo energy in this pile. Maybe the 2nd, 7th or 9th house is significant in somebody's birth chart here. I am also getting Scorpio/Pluto energy with this card mentioning transformation. Also air energy is coming through as relevant. I feel like I just mentioned all of the signs there, but if it's yours, it's yours. There are a lot of messages coming through for this pile. But yeah, I'm excited for this pile because you just know that I have some octopus facts up my sleeve for this reading. Somebody here could have a fish tank or is learning about the deep sea. Somebody could enjoy visiting aquariums. Somebody here could have an unusual pet, maybe a reptile even. I am thinking of something in a tank, but it doesn't have to be. But somebody could have some kind of pet that's more exotic, or there's more specific care that goes into looking after this particular pet than just having a cat or something. Not that cats don't need to be cared for, but I'm thinking like somebody here looks after an animal that has a more specific habitat, like he or she has to live in a certain climate or temperature, or there's more specific feeding instructions or something along those lines. That's just a random message for somebody. It could be you or this person who that might apply to. I think if it's not that, there's something about you and this person enjoying learning about different kinds of species, or maybe somebody has a lot of random animal facts or watches a lot of nature documentaries. So I think this is an individual who is part of your social network in some way, or they will be. So this could be somebody in your friendship circle, somebody who is part of your team at work, somebody you talk to in an online community, somebody generally who orbits some of the same social circles that you orbit. And how well you know them will vary, I think. This could be a very close friend who has feelings for you, or it could be like more of a friend who is more on the outskirts, but maybe someone you're aware of through some kind of social activity. It could even be a hobby you go to or a class you go to, like somebody who you see at the gym or somebody you see at a place you go regularly, even if you don't talk to them. I keep hearing the phrase orbiting, so I feel like you are aware of each other, you know of each other, and maybe they kind of keep an eye on you, even if it's on social media or something like that. If they don't speak to you directly, they most definitely still pay attention to you. Even if they don't interact, they are very aware of you. I think this is a person who friendship as a basis for connection is very, very important to them. I think they look for friendship first as a solid foundation for their romantic relationships. It could be that a lot of their relationships have started out as like firm friendships and blossomed from there, or this is saying they see you as that firm friend, but they want it to develop. This is maybe like friends to lovers, platonic to romantic, that kind of situation. This could be someone who has a very tight-knit group of friends, or somebody who has just a couple of solid friends who they've known forever and who they're really loyal to. Like, these people are really important to them and they ask for their advice on everything. So maybe it's important that their romantic interests can get along with these friends. This could be somebody who notices how you interact at group functions and they think you'd fit in well with their friends or something along those lines. I think they really look for connections that make them feel comfortable, and they want their lover to be a best friend as well as a romantic partner. And I know that sounds obvious, I feel like a lot of us want that, but you know, at the same time, some people are more moved by extreme physical attraction, or they say like, oh, I could never date that person because we're too good of friends, like they know me too well. And I feel like with this person, it's almost the opposite. They kind of love the slow burn. And it's not that they don't feel physical attraction, but they are not moved to take action by it. Whereas having this strong emotional connection as a basis, that takes precedent for them. So this is the kind of person where, let's say you are in a group setting and it's the first time you've met, like you've been introduced through friends, and then this person adds you on social media or reaches out to you following this interaction. It's not because they're like, pal 4 is really hot, can you get me their number? Or whatever. I mean, you probably are really hot, but this person isn't going to take action on that alone. It's more like when you guys were in that group setting together, they just notice that you are their kind of person. Like maybe you share the same sense of humor. They think you'd get along really well. You'd vibe with them and their friends. So they want to be a bigger part of your social network because of that. I think this person could basically pass by 1,000 attractive people a day and not really think anything of it. There's got to be a bit more to it for them. So maybe somebody who is really funny or witty, or somebody who can keep them on their toes and like challenge them intellectually is really important to them. But also somebody who they know they can just have a laugh and be really real with. I'm not necessarily getting that this person is super extroverted, at least they don't have to be, but this person could definitely be skilled when it comes to social interactions, and liaising with different types of people is something I'm getting. I think if this person wanted to, they could get along with almost anyone. They are quite adaptable. They come across as someone who can kind of transform into whatever they're needed to be in a given situation, almost like how an octopus can camouflage itself or change its colours. I think this person is really good at that, but I think it's more of a survival skill. It could be like they know of a lot of people to say hello to, but not a lot of people really know them on a deep level. And I think more than anything, they want someone who they can unmask with and to be their true selves with. And maybe they don't feel that way about many people, but I think they do feel that way with you. Or they feel like that's who they could be with you, if this is more a potential-based thing. Perhaps they are only like that with a few people and it's just like they're close friends or something. I think this person is skilled when it comes to reading people. They could be great at picking up on nuances in conversations and accommodating that, like adapting their behaviour in response to what is going on around them. I think this person definitely picks up on things that other people don't. They are very observant. I think this is an individual who is likely to remember all these small random details about you. This seems like somebody who really listens when they're being spoken to, and they can also kind of read between the lines. There could be something about this person's eye contact. This person could be very skilled at navigating conversations and saying just the right thing at just the right time. This would also be a person who, it always seems like they just land on their feet somehow. This person could be kind of lucky, or it feels like fortune favors them. Like even in situations where things could go very, very bad, this person finds a way to get out of it unscathed. And some of this could be due to like how resourceful they are socially. I think they can pick up on the vibes and the atmosphere and quickly switch up based on what's going on. So if they are talking to someone and they can sense that it's going to lead to a conflict, they could be good at kind of calming that situation down and taking things in a different direction. It could be that they have a lot of crazy stories, but then they always manage to like be in some random crazy scenario, but then they come out of it okay, and it's kind of like how, like you're lucky to be alive sort of thing. It could also be something like if this person lost their job and they're like down to the last £20 in their bank account, it's like that very next day they manage to pick something up and sort of land on their feet. They could be quite optimistic. They kind of have this inner knowing that things will work out for the best, or, you know, if one thing doesn't work out, they'll be able to pick something else up. This person could be good at lots of different things. They could have knowledge of various topics, or it's like they're willing to try their hand at anything. This could be somebody who, when you meet them, they're in this one role, and so obviously they have knowledge on that role, but then somebody might be talking about this completely different role, and they come out with loads of facts that they know about that thing, and you could be like, how do you know that? And they say like, oh, before I did this at this place, I used to do this other thing in this other place, that kind of thing. Maybe they've had a few different jobs, or they've been trained to do a number of things throughout their life before changing directions. This person could also be really skilled when it comes to multitasking, and I don't know why, but I want to say that this could translate to the bedroom too. I won't say much more on that because I don't think YouTube will allow it, but this person, put it this way, like if they are performing an act, they can do like 2 things at once to make it better. So just take it however it applies to you, your anatomy, their anatomy. I'm sure you can think of what I might mean. But this could definitely be the type of person who, if you mention something that you like once to them in conversation, they would hold on to that information and use it at a later date. So if you say you like a certain flavour of chocolate bar in a passing conversation, they will remember that and they will get you that flavour of chocolate bar a year later because they remembered that small thing that you said. This could definitely be the type of person where if you got a haircut, they would spot it straight away, like they would notice when maybe other people don't. They're like, oh, have you done something different? Or, oh, I like this piece of jewellery that you're wearing, or I like this new hair colour, even if you've only changed it by like half a shade or something like that. One fact that I found interesting about the octopus is this one. It says, octopuses also have 3 hearts, 2 just to pump blood through the gills and 1 more to circulate it to the organs. The circulating heart stops beating while an octopus swims, which explains why these, I can't pronounce this word, cephalopods, these octopuses prefer crawling. Swimming exhausts them. So this makes me think this person could be very good at compartmentalizing their feelings. This could be somebody who at times denies their emotional needs in order to keep the peace. So if, for example, this is a friend who has feelings for you and they're not sure if you return those feelings, they're good at sort of putting those feelings to one side in a box and maybe only looking at those feelings in private, but the rest of the time they're kind of like, let's just ignore that. Like, Powerful is my friend. I am happy just being friends. Maybe there's a reason they don't want to look at it. It could be like they don't think you have feelings, so they don't want to be predatory towards you. But in some instances, it could be due to some kind of barrier. Like maybe this is a friend of somebody who you are in a relationship with or you have been in a relationship with in the past. Because I'm hearing The Girl of My Best Friend by Elvis. So that would be messy, and that's not going to apply to everyone. Maybe that's just for one person, but it could be that there's some kind of thing where they feel like it's wrong to be with you or something like that. I'm also thinking of, I've not seen it in years, but there's some kind of similar storyline in Love Actually that could be significant. Like this is a friend of somebody's other half, but a lot of the time they're just pretending that they've not got the feelings or something like that. I don't know, but they're good at like taking their heart and saying, let's just put that away for another time, or let's schedule that emotion for a better date. This could be somebody who doesn't really process things in the moment. Like they're kind of good at keeping a straight face in public. So even if they're having a bad time, they're like, I'm just going to deal with that later. With Cassette, it's very possible that there's some kind of musical connection here. Maybe you and this person share a love for the same artist, or somebody here is a musician or plays an instrument. Maybe this person used to be in a band, or somebody here wanted to start a band or something like that. But one thing I'm thinking of with that Cassette is like nostalgia. So this person could have a real soft spot for things that make them feel nostalgic. This could be the kind of person who is like, old music was better, or they enjoy watching old films or TV shows from the 90s that they grew up watching. If they're around my age, I guess it's whatever decade they grew up in. I'm not saying that the 90s is old, but like, I don't know, it's like they love media from the time that they grew up in, so maybe they rewatch some of the same shows that they loved as a child or a teenager. They could also say something like, oh, I miss the old days, or things aren't what they used to be like, regardless of their age. Maybe they long for these kind of carefree times, or this is somebody who has a lot of like back in the day stories. Maybe they have a lot of funny stories and memories from their past that they like to share, or they're always looking at old photographs, or they're always saying like, oh, do you remember when we did this? This could also indicate you have known this person for a long time, maybe even since childhood or teen years for some of you. For some of you, maybe you were this person's high school crush and they're like still crushing on you or still feeling that way. This could also be definitely somebody who overthinks a lot, like they replay a lot of conversations in their head. Maybe they ruminate on things a lot. They could be more of an observer than they are an initiator. Like they are happy to kind of blend into the background at times, or they can be a little bit passive. But I do think it's because they are quite self-aware and because they do think about other people as well. I think they are considerate, but sometimes it might lead to procrastination. So that is what I'm getting so far for your reading, pal 4. And we are going to move along to the tarot and find out why this person wants to take you hot to go and hopefully get some more details on this. So let's do that so we can get some more clarity. Thank you for listening so far, pal 4, and I will see you at the tarot portion of your reading. Hi pal 4, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. Okay, so I'm going to move Shrek to one side for now. And starting off, we have got the 6 of Swords, and the clarifier is the Page of Cups. We have got the 6 of Pentacles, and the clarifier is the Ace of Wands. We have got the 3 of Cups, and the clarifier is the Knight of Cups. We have got the Hermit, and the clarifier is the Ace of Swords. And we have got the 2 of Cups, and we have got the Sun. I'm just going to move that light so that you can see the cards clearly. Oh, I feel like this is actually really sweet, pal 4. So this is why this person wants to take you hot to go. So this person could often find themselves feeling obligated to do certain things, and they kind of feel like they can escape that when they're with you. And I think a lot of us, you know, we do things in our everyday lives that feel like obligations, and actually we're thinking like, ugh, I don't want to be here. So one example could be work, particularly for those of us who are in a day job where it's not actually what we love doing, and maybe we have to put on a mask to interact with a lot of people, and that can be quite tiring. It's like some people might assume that this person, because they are good at working the room, or because they are charming, or because they know a lot of people, or they can kind of talk the talk, they might assume that this person loves socializing and this person is really extroverted. And maybe they are in certain situations. I think a lot of people can be ambiverts as opposed to just introverted or extroverted. Is that what you call it, ambivert? I think so. I don't know. But I think sometimes it's like people get the wrong idea about this person and they assume like, oh, they just love chatting to people because they are naturally good at it maybe, and because they can adapt to these different kinds of situations. But really what this person wants more than anything is to escape with their best friend or with their partner in crime, and they feel as though they could have that with you. So if you see this person working the room and making conversations, like doing the whole small talk and approaching people like, hey Barbara, how are your kids? People might just assume that's where this person thrives because they are so good at that. But in reality, this person, it's just a show, and what they really want is to escape and to go home with you and curl up on the couch and watch a true crime documentary. And they want that to be with you because they feel like you're somebody who they can breathe that sigh of relief with. You're not somebody who they have to put on this act of being that super social, confident person all the time. This is definitely somebody, like, they feel like they could sit in comfortable silence with you and you could just enjoy each other's company without having to put on this grandiose act of making a show of things. Like, things could just be really chill with you. This person wants somebody who they can truly be at home with, and they feel as though it's like they're saying that you're a bit of them or you're their cup of tea. You guys are compatible because maybe you are both like, we'd rather just stay in and cuddle rather than going out all the time. For those of you where you are already with this person, I feel like once they are with you, they make it clear that they'd just rather spend any and every evening with you. Like, maybe they make plans and on the night of their plans they say like, oh, I really can't be bothered going out, I wish I could just stay with you. It's not in an unhealthy way though. Like, ultimately friendships are very important to this person, and so they do realise sometimes friendships involve making the effort to go out and see people. But maybe you have to reassure them like, oh, you'll love it once you're there, like, have a good time. And they do have a good time, but I think what they look forward to most is catching up with you once they're back. Like, maybe whereas they once used to feel the need to stay out really late, maybe once they're with you, it's like they catch up with their friends and then by 11 p.m. they're texting you and saying like, I've picked up some fries for us on the way back, like, you make the hot chocolate and I'll tell you all about my evening. It's giving me very like Secret Whispers in the Dark, friends at a sleepover, telling each other stories over hot chocolate kind of vibes. I think this person feels like it's a treat when they get to see you and when they get to interact with you. I think this person loves that they can always have intellectually stimulating conversations with you, so it's never ever boring. This person could particularly despise small talk, so they want someone who is also in pursuit of that deeper knowledge or those deeper conversations. So it doesn't matter if the two of you are alone because the conversation isn't going to get stale. They know you guys are always going to be laughing, or you're always going to be talking about something abstract or philosophical or just generally interesting, and that's really important to them. Maybe they want to take you hot to go so they can find out more about how your mind works. I think they're really fascinated by that. And maybe they want to pick your brains when it comes to something. They're interested in some of your opinions and they want to find out more about what you think. I'm hearing they could listen to you talk all day, so maybe it's something to do with when you talk passionately about something, they feel more and more like they're falling for you, or they could just look at you and listen to what you have to say all day. They just enjoy hearing you talk. It could be something about your voice. They are happy to just get a chance to observe you and to hear your thoughts. But I also feel like this person is really happy to bring you to social events. Maybe they feel like you are someone who could get along really, really well with their friends and family. Maybe you bring a good vibe to a lot of events that you attend, and they just feel like you're a lot of fun and you're this really positive person to have around. If they've been in group settings with you, they could feel like you make those group events really, really fun and cheerful. You lift the vibe or something like that. This could also indicate that maybe they started noticing you at an event, or they've been admiring you from afar since some kind of celebration or party that you guys attended together, or this situation where they encountered you in a social setting. It's like they saw you and they've been thinking about this ever since then. So maybe this crush started developing after they saw you. Maybe it's like they thought you looked really good, but then they also saw you interacting with people and they really liked your personality and some of your viewpoints or your sense of humor. And so then they were like, you know, this person seems like they would get me, like they would be on the same page with me. I could see us at the very least being friends, but obviously I think they want more than that, even if they are not necessarily saying this. And I think if they're not saying it, it's probably just because they don't know how you feel. Maybe they're not totally clear on that, and maybe they want some clarity before they make that move. I think they also don't want to ruin any kind of friendship that you guys currently have. This is somebody who would not like the thought of making you uncomfortable if they professed feelings. They don't want to be seen as like a creep. So maybe they are kind of waiting for you to take the lead or give them some indication of feelings here. I don't think they want to risk you pulling back or you saying, you know, maybe we shouldn't talk or maybe we shouldn't be friends. Because if they can't have anything romantic with you, they are happy to, like we said in the oracle, sort of push their feelings down to one side and be your friend, even if it means kind of hurting themselves deep down. But like if you guys are good friends, it's just they don't want to risk that basically. They're quite careful in terms of how they approach things, and they could be just kind of going with the flow and seeing where things end up. But maybe they're not taking a direct approach, or they want you to make that first move. I don't know. The Two of Cups, though, is making me think for the majority of you, this is very much a mutual attraction. And if that's the case, you could be like, okay, so what is this? Or why is nobody making a move? And again, I think it's just maybe this person isn't sure, or they don't want to come across as too full on, or they want some kind of direct indication that you are interested, especially if you are firm friends. It can be kind of nerve-wracking to take it to that next level. But I do think this person wants to be really sweet with you. I think they definitely want to offer something romantic. I think they want to invite you somewhere. If this is in relation to Valentine's Day, this person could be kind of up in their head about that. Like if you guys are transitioning from a friendship to a romance, it could be like they're thinking of asking you to do something around Valentine's Day, but then they're worried about how you would interpret that. Or maybe they're like, oh, but is it too cheesy to do something around Valentine's Day? Or what if pal 4 thinks I have expectations? What if we put too much pressure on it? They're kind of in their head a lot when it comes to that and sort of going back and forth. I think this person wants to take a gentle approach. They don't want to do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable, basically. They are very considerate and they're very concerned with how you feel. It's like this person is saying they want to work hard for you or something like that, and they feel like they have to do something that shows you your worth or something along those lines. But there's also this message about them second guessing themselves. So it could be them thinking that they want to treat you to something around Valentine's Day, maybe like Valentine's Day weekend or something, and then they say to themselves, well, will pal 4 just think I've only invited them out around Valentine's Day because it's Valentine's Day? Like they're kind of saying, is that too generic, or will it seem like I haven't put thought into it? It could even be in relation to a gift they get you, maybe them being undecided on what to get you, so they just don't end up getting anything. They end up in like analysis paralysis over it. Again though, there's this message about small things coming through. I feel like deep down this person is actually quite sensitive, maybe more than you know. but they might love the small things that you do. So this could be a person who pays attention to a particular quirk that you have, like they notice something about you that's really unique to you and they think it's super cute. It could be anything from like, oh, I love that you have this particular pattern of freckles on your nose, to I love that you always cry when you're laughing really hard, or you always do this particular expression that gets them up in their feelings. They really appreciate these little things about you, so they have this soft spot for your mannerisms or certain aspects of your appearance or personality. And I want to say that maybe it's things that other people don't always pick up on. And I think that appeals to you too, because you might have had people compliment you before because you are probably a great person. So if you've ever asked a romantic interest, you know, what was it that you first liked about me? You could have had like, oh, I thought you were really funny, or you had pretty eyes, or you had a banging body, like you're hot and you're an amazing person, which obviously there's nothing wrong with those things and they are nice to hear. But sometimes people have a hard time defining specifically what it is they like about you, and those things, whilst they're nice, they are kind of generic, like they could apply to everyone. But with this person, I think you're going to feel really seen and appreciated, not just for these adorable quirks you have, but also for things like you're maybe insecure about, or the things you maybe try to hide. It's like this person picks up on those things and is all the more attracted to you because of them. So like if you snort when you laugh or something like that, this person could think that's really cute, and they might love that you get lost in the moment or you get caught up in the fun of things. They could really enjoy making you laugh or seeing you smiling or just having fun. They could think that you have an incredible laugh and smile. I keep getting something about that and I keep wanting to smile. Like you might have one of those laughs that make other people laugh, a very contagious laugh, and maybe once you start, you can't stop and it gets everyone around you in hysterics and it really just livens up the room. This person could love that about you, and so they love an opportunity to make you laugh like that. Again, I don't think this is a person who is automatically moved by their physical attraction, but for some reason, with that Ace of Wands, they are very, very, very physically attracted to you, and I think they don't feel that intense of a spark very often. So maybe that's got them wanting to take action because they're like, I don't normally feel this way, like what is this? But again, it's not the type of physical attraction of when you see someone pretty or handsome and you think, oh yeah, I would. It's like they're extremely attracted to you specifically for a very specific reason. It's hard to explain. It's not this generic thing of like, oh, they have really nice hair or they have a great body. It's more than that. And I think even, you know, in terms of hearing your voice, like hearing you talk or hearing you laugh, something about that gets them going. Maybe something about how your mind works gets them going, the things you say. I don't know. It's like the way you say it as well. They're just like, oh, I don't know. It's like something about the way you are, specifically you, is just so schmecksy and appealing to them. And maybe they don't often find themselves in that position of feeling that way. So they're like, it must be something about Pal 4. It is something about you. And so that gives them this get up and go, gives them that enthusiasm towards pursuing you. And again, I think they could be unaccustomed to that, perhaps if they're not used to taking action, perhaps if they are more passive or they normally go with the flow. This could be kind of an alien concept to them, but in quite a positive way. If this is a friend or someone that has known you for a long time, maybe this person has recently realised, like every time I get a message from Pal 4, every time their name pops up, they're realising like they're excited, it makes them smile, or they can't wait to open your messages. And maybe that's the thing that makes them feel pretty confident, like, yeah, I must have a crush on Pal 4. This person could want to give you things, like if you guys work together, maybe this person wants to bring you treats or surprises into work, or, you know, they buy random things for you and they're like, I thought you would enjoy this, or I just thought of you when I was buying this. They could also really like that you seem like a giving, generous, like gentle, warm person, somebody who is really kind-hearted, somebody who is empathetic, and somebody who is very emotionally tapped in. They could see you in that way. This would definitely be the type of person where if it was the 90s, they would make you a mixtape. They could have even made you a playlist or something like that. Maybe they love sharing the things they love with you, like movies or shows that they like. They enjoy recommending things to you. That's like one of their love languages. So that is what I am getting for you, Pal 4. This was a really sweet reading, actually. I'm going to end the reading by giving you a little bit of confirmation from the Singles and Relationship Oracle deck. So we are going to be asking what's stopping them from reaching out to you, if anything. So let's have a look at what we get for you. Okay, Pal 4, we have got not talking. You aren't communicating your needs clearly. You need to discuss how you feel. Yeah, so someone here isn't opening up about how they feel. Could be both of you. I don't know, the image on this card, it's just making me think like there's so much feeling there, there's so much tension in the atmosphere, but somebody's like nervous, they're anxious, they're sitting on the other side of the sofa and not really saying what they need to say. So maybe somebody needs to do that. Maybe it's this person, maybe it's you, maybe it's both of you. There's definitely like, especially if this is a friendship, I think the atmosphere has changed between the two of you and both of you are like aware of this feeling, but maybe nobody really knows what to do with it. So, I don't know, powerful. Hopefully somebody does something soon. We're going to finish with some confirmations from my handwritten oracle cards. And these are just extra little confirmations for specific people. So one of them might apply, none of them might apply, and this can still be your pile. But we'll have a look at those just for some extra clarity. Okay, I've tried to get those all in frame. Please feel free to pause the video if you would like to have a look at these cards, but I will read them out to you. So for astrological placements, we've got Water Venus, we've got Fire Rising, we've got Earth Venus, and we've got Air Mars. For locations, we have Haitian origin being significant, South African origin, we've got Iceland. Somebody here has a warm and friendly face. Maybe that's you. There was something about your smile. Maybe, you know, that's one of the things this person really likes about you. Somebody is a mom friend or takes care of people. Somebody is blunt as fuck, says what they like. Somebody is unfiltered. Somebody is currently trying to break an old habit or pattern. Somebody is currently working out. They're focused on cardio or strength training or getting into a fitness routine. Somebody here likes long walks. Somebody here likes being at home. I think we mentioned that was probably both you and this person. Channel messages, it says the thing you have been praying for is already yours. Maybe that's to do with this connection. We've got, I feel like I've known you before, past life connection. Maybe that's how this person felt when they met you. Like you just belonged together, you were on the same page somehow. We've got you are a light in this world. Maybe that's how this person feels about you. They love to see you sort of light up the room. And we've got it's going to be better than expected. So maybe this is about this connection, like both of you are thinking the worst or thinking like the other person isn't interested or not wanting to say something. But I think this is saying like this might exceed your expectations. So that is what I'm getting for your reading, pal 4. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did like the reading, please like the video. Please leave me a comment if you get a chance. Let me know what resonated, or just let me know what pal you picked if you don't feel comfortable. Let me know what resonated. Please sub if you haven't done so already. With all of that said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being here. Take care, and I will see you in the next one, pal 4. Hi Pal 5 Collective. If you chose Pal 5 and you chose the Orchid Valley Tarot and the muscly winged Shrek sticker, you are in the correct place. Welcome to your reading, friends. If you would like a full breakdown of everything this reading will entail, please check out my introduction. I go through absolutely everything there. I will also leave some information in the pinned comment below. If you want to have a quick glance at that, go right ahead. So today we are asking who wants to take you HOTTOGO, aka hot to go. Why do they want to do that? And if they aren't making a move, what is stopping them from approaching you and Shreksing you up? So this reading was very clearly inspired by the song Hot to Go and by Shrek, naturally. So as usual, we are going to be starting off with your oracle reading. So I am just going to pop your tarot cards to one side for now so we can focus on these oracle cards in front of us. So in a moment, we are going to be asking, who is this person? Who has hots for you? How might you be able to identify them? And if you have a pre-existing relationship with this person, what is the nature of that relationship? What might the dynamic be like between the two of you? Then for your tarot reading, we are going to be doing a deeper dive on this, and we are also going to be asking why they want to take you hot to go, why they think you're a snack, what is it about you that has them feeling that way this Valentine's Day. Then we are going to be finishing the reading by asking what is stopping this person from reaching out and getting Shreksy with you. So obviously this won't apply if you are happily with your person, and in those instances where you don't need that extra confirmation, you are free to skip this section. But for those of you who are wanting to know, why hasn't this person made a move? Why haven't they reached out? What's stopping them, if anything? What do they feel is blocking them? Hopefully we're going to get some answers on that. So as always, little disclaimer, that these are collective readings and not every single detail is going to resonate. Please take what's for you and leave the rest for somebody else. But with all of that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. And without hesitation, let's have a look at the oracle cards we pulled for you today. So we have got optimistic otter, positivity, imagination, playfulness, gentle and carefree, nature spirit, teach me to enjoy the simple things in life. We have got number 9, blind, awkward, unknown, vision problems. We've got Neptune, trust in the divine plan and surrender to the understanding that all things are working together for our greatest good. And we've got stabbed in the back, heartbreak, pain, separation, deception, shocking attack. Okay, Pal 5, so I always like to start by mentioning the numbers on the cards in case this is an extra confirmation for you. It doesn't have to be for this to be your pile, but this could be relevant in terms of a date, an age gap, a birthday, a day, month or year, or an angel number or synchronicity you are seeing a lot of. So for you, Pal 5, we have number 9, so somebody could be born on the 9th of a month. September could be significant. The year 2009 or 2019 might be significant. This could be about something that happened 9 days, weeks, months or years ago. You get the idea. With Neptune coming through, this person could have strong Pisces or Neptune energy in their chart, or that could be your chart. Even with this otter card that talks about imagination, I feel like even if this person doesn't specifically have Pisces in their chart, this could be somebody who has a very, very active imagination. We are probably talking about somebody who daydreams a lot, somebody who has very, very vivid dreams, somebody who could maybe astral travel in their dreams, somebody who fantasizes a lot, and somebody who is known as being in their own little world a lot of the time. This person, even like with the sticker you picked of like this muscley winged Shrek, this person could be kind of fairy-like or kind of whimsical in some way, elfish maybe. This person could have a kind of ingenue or ethereal essence about them. This could also point to somebody who is very creative or artistic. This person could have literal vision problems, or they could wear glasses, or maybe somebody here is waiting for like laser eye surgery or something. This could also point to somebody who is very creative or artistic. They could be interested in things like literature or poetry. They might be a musician, or they are very into their music, and just generally they are really, really moved by things that come from the soul. Even if this person does not have like a stereotypically creative career, they could well do, but if they don't, like if this person is in the corporate world and they have to sit there and deal with spreadsheets or numbers all day, they are probably someone who, like, when they get home, they need some kind of outlet for their creativity. And if they are in a job that doesn't provide that outlet, this is most likely someone who just works to live, to just earn an income. But you might find in a work setting that they are often zoning out, or they're not the most like methodical or logical person. Maybe they're not the most practical person. They could be a little bit clumsy. They could also have like a very abstract way of thinking about things or performing tasks. Maybe they are kind of an innovator or an out-of-the-box thinker. This person just has a very dreamy nature about them. This could be the type of person who, like, you always see them doodling, or you glance at them and it always looks like they're deep in thought about something. They could have a kind of tortured artist vibe about them at times. You might find that this is someone, I don't want to say someone who blends into the background, but they could do that deliberately. Like maybe they are a bit of a chameleon, they are quite mutable. And I say that because Neptune and Pisces energy, it can often be associated with being more of a diffuse sign. There's a tendency for that kind of energy, like because they pick up on so many things going on around them and they absorb some of that energy, they kind of have this ability to merge into whatever or whoever is around them. So it could be quite difficult to get a real handle on who this person actually is, depending on how well you already know them or depending on where you encounter them. But with us getting that blind card, this is making me think a couple of different things, to be quite honest, in terms of what this dynamic could be. But it's either this person is overlooked in some way, so it could just be that this individual is generally underestimated as a person, but this could also be implying like they are right in front of you but you can't see them. And particularly if they do blend into the background, it could be they have a crush on you but you haven't noticed them noticing you. Or this could indicate they or you or both of you, like, you do feel something, but there's a barrier or there's a reason that maybe you can't act on it right now. So you are keeping it hidden, or you're keeping it in the dark, or like you are pretending that you don't have a crush, you're refusing to look at it because you're like, oh no, I can't feel this way, or they are saying that. It could go either way, I think. This could be you, it could be them, or it could be both of you. And I do think in either instance, this might be a case of nobody wanting to get hurt, because it does seem like one or both of you have been maybe stabbed in the back in a previous connection. And there might be some overlap here in your energy and theirs. So if you identify yourself as having been in a connection previously where you got hurt, you know, take that if it resonates. But obviously this portion of the reading is more meant to be identifying this person. So I will talk about it like we're referring to them, but just know you could very well identify parts of yourself within this if this is something both of you have experienced. But yeah, I think this person is a deeply sensitive individual. They could have a lot of water energy generally in their chart, but even if they don't, this is somebody who feels things with such an intensity that it might be physically painful for them at times. This could be somebody who struggles to be in large crowds for extended periods of time due to the energy that they are capable of absorbing. And so for someone with that depth of feeling always sort of bubbling up under the surface, if they've been betrayed or hurt by somebody in the past, it might be unsurprising that it's scary for them to address this crush situation. I think, you know, we mentioned Neptune energy, but Pisces can also be associated with Jupiter, and we have that optimistic otter card. So I think this is somebody who probably does try to remain optimistic and happy-go-lucky when they can. They could also be a peacekeeper of sorts. Like, they are probably not the first to initiate a conflict because they already handle so many strong emotions internally. They might really struggle to be in environments that aren't peaceful, so maybe they try and keep them peaceful. They try and keep that balance. They could struggle when they're around other people who are having conflict and things like that. I think this person probably isn't the type of individual to complain about anything and everything. Like, this person really enjoys the simple things in life, and they probably enjoy, you know, looking on the bright side when they can. I think they're good at sort of making do with what they have, even in situations that other people would complain about or situations that just aren't the best objectively. They are good at kind of saying, well, at least we have this, or, you know, trying to bring a bright side to things to uplift the mood of the room. This person is also probably super gentle. I think their first instinct is to just care for things. So they would definitely be the type of person to like save a dying bee, or they would take a spider outside instead of killing it, or if they found a wounded animal, they would try to save it. They do have this really compassionate and nurturing instinct. But I feel like if this person has been hurt in a big way in the past, maybe that has kind of made them shut down or not want to acknowledge their deeper feelings. This person could be very sleepy or very low energy. Maybe they need to have energy drinks a lot, or maybe they need to sleep a lot or for long periods. This could be somebody who is often late or often snoozes their alarm, or, you know, doesn't always wake up when their alarm goes off or something. Because even this person's surface level feelings could be a lot to deal with. Like, when they get home from a day at work, maybe they need a lot of time to sleep or a lot of time to recharge. And just dealing with whatever happened that day is more than enough. And other things they have to kind of put to one side, and maybe that leads them to ignoring some of what they're feeling. Maybe, again, they just don't want to look at it head on. So this could be in relation to this crush they have on you. Maybe for whatever reason, they're saying like, no, I can't feel that way, so they're trying not to see it for what it is. On the other hand, it could be that this person kind of lets their imagination get carried away with them at times. Neptune can be associated with confusion or illusion. It can be associated with escapism and deception or being tricked. So maybe this person is kind of, to a degree, in limerence with you, where they have a lot of these fantasies and they get really carried away considering this future life with you, whilst not taking much action on the physical plane. Maybe they kind of live in their heads with you when in reality they don't know you incredibly well, or they don't actually talk to you that much. This could be they've conjured up this idea of what it would be like to be with you in their head, and they're just sort of obsessed with it. Maybe their form of escapism is thinking about you a lot, or maybe they have a lot of dreams about you. You sort of creep into their subconscious a lot, and maybe they're infatuated with this potential of you. But opposite of that, this could also be them completely denying their feelings for you, you know, tricking themselves into thinking, no, I don't feel that way about Pal 5, because they are suppressing something here. And maybe it is to do with them feeling like they were deceived in the past. Maybe they've always been this kind of optimistic person who wants to see the best in people, and that has worked to their detriment, because maybe they've ended up in a romantic connection previously where they were pretending everything was okay and refusing to see things for what they were. Meanwhile, the person they were with could have been deceiving them or doing something to hurt them, and it's left this person with a lot of confusion. Maybe they don't really know if they can trust their intuition when it comes to making decisions about their romantic life. So maybe to keep kind of on this even keel, they have detached from the idea of finding love, and they are just trying to get by. They're putting their fingers in their ears going la 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 because they don't want to address how strongly they feel, because that would mean, you know, taking a risk, taking a chance, potentially having to trust their intuition and really consider what these feelings mean. And maybe they're not ready for that due to this past situation, or they just don't know. They're asking, like, can I fully trust it? I think they struggle to separate illusion from reality because of their profound imagination. They really struggle at times differentiating reality from the fantasy. So it could be like, you know, they experience a moment with you, like a romantic moment, and maybe they are reading into it, but then they are like, did pal 5 just give me a look, or am I reading too much into it? Like, am I just making it up? Do I feel a vibe, or is it all in my head? They could really struggle with assessing things like that because they might have a tendency to get lost in the romance and whimsy of it all, and especially if they've struggled to, you know, assess a situation for what it really is in the past, that could have led them to a lot of self-doubt at this present moment. This person could be the kind of person to have a tendency to confess when they are under the influence, is something I'm getting. This person could struggle with a little bit of social awkwardness at times, especially if they have doubt from being led astray or deceived by someone in a previous connection and they are not sure who to trust. It could be that they become more open when they are inebriated, as one example. It wouldn't surprise me if this person came out with something super romantic and poetic to you whilst they were drunk. Like, they drunk text you or you're out with them and they have this kind of dazed, starry look in their eye and they say something that sounds like it comes from a film, and in a film it would be interpreted as something really profound and deeply romantic, but maybe you're just like, how much have you had to drink? Like, what are you talking about? And the next day this person could be like, oh shit, like, what did I say last night? And then they go all awkward or shy again or something like that. And I want to be clear, it's not just drunk words. If something comes out when this person is drunk or whatever, they mean what they say, and it's like those words are coming from the soul. It's just maybe in their day-to-day life they've learned that having so much heart and soul can be a problem, so they've learned to sort of hide it away or act not more robotic but more like a diluted version of themselves to fit into the status quo. And this isn't a judgment towards them. I think a lot of us do this, especially those of us who also identify as being really hyper empathetic or really sensitive. Obviously there's certain parts of that we do have to try and shut off at times, even if it's not good for us. Like, if you are a compassionate person who works in a job dealing with the public, it can be really hard to absorb all that information from people and still feel sane by the end of the day. And none of us are going to be able to hold down jobs like that if we are constantly always feeling our feelings and breaking down over it. I'm not saying that's a good thing that we have to do that. I think a lot of us who experience that are probably more suited to work from home jobs where we're not seeing as many people, but unfortunately we don't all have access to that. So we've got to go out, we've got to kind of shut off from the world around us. And I think this person does that. So maybe internally, like deep down, they are actually holding on to a lot of emotions. And it could be if they see you day to day, they fantasize about all the things they want to say to you, but maybe it only comes out in these very brief moments when something has happened to kind of alter their consciousness in some way. So maybe like being a little bit drunk or certain medication, or them being in a drowsy sleep state kind of makes them more romantic. But yeah, I think it's almost like this vicious cycle with this person because they are keeping the blinders on. And in the past, they kept the blinders on so they didn't have to face looking at an uncomfortable truth for what it was. And now it's like they're doing the same thing. But in that past situation, it could have been because looking at something head on like that would mean an ending, maybe. But in this situation, looking at something head on might mean a beginning, and that's equally scary to them. They might not be ready to face that. And I think a lot of it too, like this person might be very aware of what they get like when they're in a relationship. And I think this person is very aware that they like to see the best in people. So in the past, they could have been in connections where once they have strong feelings for someone, it's like they refuse to see the bad in that person or they defend them no matter the cost. So once they're in it, maybe they could make excuses for their partner behaving badly, and all their friends could be telling them like, this person is playing you, this person is mistreating you. But this person, they know that if they're in it, they'll like refuse to listen to anyone around them who's telling them that. They don't want to look at the truth. Maybe it's too painful for them to see the truth, so they choose to just keep their head in the sand. They could have got wrapped up in like codependent relationships in the past. They just have this tendency to refuse to see the bad in the person that they're with. They sometimes downplay bad behavior. They dismiss it until eventually something happens where it all comes crumbling down, or it feels like this shocking attack. It feels like this huge betrayal, even though, you know, the red flags were there all along the way. But as this person was passing all of these red flags, they had their hands covering their eyes. They weren't willing to look. And I think a lot of us do this when it comes to like minor red flags. We rationalize them, we gloss over them, or sometimes we ignore them because we think they are inconsequential. But I think a lot of us who are in relationships and we are at a healthy place with ourselves, we can still be very loyal. And that is one of this person's strengths, like their loyalty. But we can also appreciate that we have certain deal breakers, and that loyalty should change if a person is crossing our boundaries or if they do something to betray us. So this could be like, I'm sure many of us have said in relationships, you know, I am committed to you, I am loyal to you unless you cheat on me, or whatever the case may be, whatever example is personal to you. And it's probably not that you immediately stop loving that person if they did something like that, because unfortunately feelings don't go away overnight. It's just that you know, for your own peace of mind and for your self-respect or whatever, like, you can't be with them anymore. So you might still love them unconditionally as a person, but your loyalty, your commitment does come with conditions because it depends on that person's behavior, right? Whereas with this person, it's like once they love someone, it feels totally unconditional in every way, and they might have a hard time separating themselves from the other person. So they might be in denial with themselves because they know that believing that the person that they have chosen to be with is no longer the person they are committed to, that would be like losing a limb. So they just bury their head in the sand until they can no longer ignore it. So I think they know that because they are very much like, once I'm in, I am all in. They're scared of feeling so strongly about somebody and having so much faith in them, to having their trust broken again and feeling the enormous pain of that, the enormous weight of that. And they're also maybe worried that this is just an illusion and that maybe you don't feel the same way that they do. So that is what I'm getting so far for your reading pile 5. So we are going to go into the tarot and hopefully get some more details on this. We're going to find out why they want to take you hot to go, why they're feeling this way about you, and hopefully that is going to give you some more clarity. So thank you for listening to this reading so far, pile 5, and I'll see you at the tarot portion. Hi Pile 5 Collective, welcome back to the tarot portion of your reading. Without hesitation, let's get started and have a look at the cards we pulled for you. So I'm going to pop your sticker here. So to start off with, we have got the Magician, and our clarifier is the Emperor. We have got the Page of Swords, and our clarifier is the Four of Cups. We have got the Three of Pentacles, and our clarifier is the Page of Pentacles. We have got the Page of Wands, and our clarifier is Freedom. I think this is a card that's exclusive to this deck. It's like an extra card, I think. And we have got the Empress, and the clarifier for the Empress is the Knight of Pentacles. Wow, okay, Pile 5, we have a lot of pages here. We have the Page of Wands, Swords, and Pentacles. So I feel like for a few of you, this person could be younger than you, and maybe age is a factor here that one or both of you is concerned about. It doesn't have to be actual biological age, but I think this person feels like they're somehow a novice compared to you, or they are less experienced. I'm hearing the phrase, you'd eat them for breakfast. So it could be like this person doesn't want to be seen as vulnerable or something like that, but they knew that if they told you how they feel, it would be like their heart is being laid bare on the table to feast upon or something like that. So some of them, it's like they don't want you to know the effect you have on them, but it's not in this way of them like wanting to maintain power and maintain control. It's not a game. I don't think they're bothered about that necessarily. It's more like they're saying, please don't hurt me. So I think on the one hand, if they were to be open with you and you didn't return these feelings, that would suck for them. But also if you did return the feelings and you wanted to give this a go, that would be fucking terrifying for them, because they know that you would have the potential to hurt them, because they know that they could fall super, super deeply for you. So I think it's like they want it, but they don't want it because they know what it could lead to. And I think although this is a generally positive person, somebody who tries to be optimistic, I think they are carrying some baggage from this past heartbreak, this past situation, and maybe focusing on the potential negative outcomes of this. And maybe that is what's stopping them making a move, even if they've thought about it a lot, even if they want to. Maybe it's like they're just not really willing to go there, even in terms of thinking about it too much, because it hurts them to think about. It hurts them to think like they could go for it and it could end badly, but it also hurts them to think like, oh, this is all a fantasy and I don't actually have it. It also hurts them to not go after it. It's a really confusing situation. I think the thing is with this person, this is someone who thinks so far ahead in the future. They get way ahead of themselves with what they imagine, and it's to the point where they exhaust all of their energy on that thought spiral that by the end of it, they come away like, oh, I'm just not going to do anything about it. Like, all they can do is lay still. All they can do is lay in silence, not making any more moves. And I do want to reiterate, I think they do fantasize a lot about the good stuff. I think that's definitely prevalent, and they could have many, many dreams about you. But I think they also go so far ahead as to be like, well, what if Pal 5 ends up being my soulmate and we travel the world together and we have this beautiful wedding and 2 beautiful children, but then what if we start arguing and the marriage falls apart, and what if we get a divorce and I don't see the kids, or what if I get diagnosed with a terminal illness and then I have to leave my soulmate? It's like they get so carried away with these stories in their head, and by the end of it they're like, well, I don't want to put myself through that, so I'm just not going to say anything, I'm just not going to think about it. I think this person is sometimes scared of their own sensitivity, their own vulnerability, especially if they have been hurt in the past. I think it's like they are aware how caring they are, and that when they fall very deeply, and they sometimes feel like you'd have the power to see right into them and use it against them if you wanted. I'm hearing like you could twist them around your little finger, or you could influence them to do anything. I think they kind of see themselves as this little simp for you. This person could be into feet. I don't know why that's coming through. I'm sorry if that's not for you, like it's for somebody, but it's making me think like they see you almost as this like goddess, and they would be willing to like kiss your feet or like worship the ground you walk on. It's something like that. Oof, I don't know. This person's a little bit like freaky. But yeah, it's not necessarily that they think that you would manipulate them, but it's just you would have the power to if you wanted to. And they maybe don't know who they can fully trust because they don't fully trust their own judgment. And they're saying, like, you know, if there's potential for me to fall that hard and get hurt like I did in the past, I can't go through that again. So that could be why they are not looking at this, if they are holding back here. But I think, you know, why this person does want to take you hot to go is because they do spend a lot of time yearning for you. I'm hearing the phrase pining for you specifically. And I think it's like they torture themselves with these thoughts of you. And I think, you know, they are aware they don't want to miss an opportunity with you if it could be something. I think they've spent a lot of time wondering what if, but then talking themselves out of it or pushing it down, denying the feeling. This could very well be someone where they have little moments with you and they're literally the kind of person who will be thinking, what would happen if we kissed right now? But then maybe they're like, no, I couldn't do that, or that would never happen. But then they sometimes do get lost in the fantasy of thinking about that. I think there's something about this person doesn't feel like they are enough for you. I think they do kind of put you on a pedestal, and it's like they want to be the emperor to your empress, but they don't see themselves as being fully qualified. And maybe it is due to their age or due to a lack of experience. And when I say lack of experience, it doesn't have to be that this person is a virgin or something. I mean, they could be, depending on where both of you guys are at. But it could even be something like this person has been married before, or they've been in a relationship before, but now they are divorced and they haven't been in the dating world for a long time, so they don't really know what it's like. Or maybe they've only ever had one serious relationship their entire lives and they just feel like you are more experienced than they are. If they've only been with like 1 or 2 people, it could be something like they feel kind of out of their depth. And even if they want to be that person for you, they kind of question, oh, but what if I'm not? Like, what if I just don't have the experience to back that up or to know what Pal 5 would want when it comes to romance? I think they kind of fantasize about like coming and sweeping you off your feet and everything being perfect and being this emperor. They daydream about just like taking charge and showing you a good time in whatever way that applies. But then sometimes they look around at their reality and they're like, who am I kidding? Like, I'm not that person. Maybe they're too shy to do anything like that, but they just stay thinking about it. And maybe they convince themselves like, you know, Pal 5 wants this emperor figure. Maybe they say to themselves that you need someone who can, for example, take you to a fancy restaurant, and maybe they can't do that or something along those lines. Maybe they think like, oh, Pal 5 will probably go for someone older or somebody who has their life together or who can take charge. And so they're doubting whether they can be that person, although it's like they're using the tools they have to try and make the best of whatever it is they've got. Because I do feel like with that magician card specifically, this person is thinking about how they can be resourceful, and it's like they are going to do the best with what they have. So this is like, even if they don't have all the money in the world, as one example, they want to make whatever date they take you on this really, really magical experience. Like, they are probably going to want to use their imagination and their creativity to make it something special and to surprise you in this really nice way. They could also be thinking that you've put a spell on them to make them infatuated with you. I think they're scared of you, but they want you. Like, it terrifies them how much power you have over them. But they know that, like, if you said jump, they'd ask how high. And that scares them, but they also want to do it. Ugh, I don't know, it's very back and forth. They could also feel like you're the emperor or you have a lot going for you, and they're trying to come up with ways to impress you and give you something you haven't had before. But they kind of have to get creative with it to come up with ideas, because they don't just want to be like, oh, let me impress you with my money or with this or that, when those are all things that maybe you provide for yourself. It's like they want to do something more inspired than that. I think this person, like we said in the oracle, they retreat for emotional stability, so they pull back to avoid being pulled in. Because I think they know that if you returned this affection that they have for you, if you also had these feelings, they would be pulled all the way in, they would be reeled right in, and they would never want to let you go, and that is kind of worrying for them. But at the same time, at their core, they are a lover guy or a lover girl. Like, they are made to love, and they know that life is boring without love and without these deep feelings. They really thrive off that. I feel like if they have been blind to their emotions or they've been trying to shut their feelings down, yes, it might have created this temporary emotional safety, but it also makes life really, really boring. And I feel like encountering you has added back that fun and excitement, because even if they are partially scared of these feelings, even if they are tentative, they also have this awareness of, like, what is life without love? What is life without heart and soul and romance and beauty? Well, it's not worth living to not experience those things, even if those things can be painful sometimes. So I think they're saying they don't want to miss out on this, but maybe they're feeling like they need more time or they need to be more qualified to be what you need. I feel like they really want to impress you with something inspired, though. I keep getting that. They want to show you something that hasn't been done 1,000 times before, and they want to get your recognition. So maybe this person feels like you don't really notice them, and they want to do something that gets you to notice them. This person could feel like they're still learning or they're still studying. They could actually be studying what you like to try and get a handle on what they can do with you or how they can impress you. This could be somebody who you met via some form of education or an apprenticeship, or you guys are in the same class. Maybe they feel as though you are more highly qualified than they are, and they want to be on, like, the same page as you before making a move or something. This person could like you because they see you as highly educated and intelligent. This person could think that you're really honest or you say things how they are. They could also think that you have a very curious mind and that you're naturally inquisitive about things, and they're kind of like that too. So that's a quality they really appreciate. They could like that you're direct because maybe they can be more conflict avoidant or passive at times. So they could like that you are capable of taking the lead when it comes to speaking your truth. They could also think that you're very down to earth and grounded, or that you have a genuinely natural beauty about you, but it's not really just your appearance. It's also like they can sense that your spirit is beautiful or something like that. They see you as somebody they could kind of dive in head first with. Sometimes they get carried away in their imagination of how things could be with you. They see you as somebody who they could be really loyal or committed to. I think they want to show you that you can depend on them. Like, if this person is younger than you and you don't tend to go for younger people, as one example, it could be that this person wants to show you that you can take them seriously, because maybe you know that they're kind of head in the clouds or they get carried away with their imagination, and you could see this more as like them having a high school crush. Maybe you think it's cute, but I think this person is wanting to show you, like, no, I'm serious about this. I'm going to show you how serious I am. It could be that if this person makes any kind of flirty jokes with you, maybe you don't take them seriously, or maybe you even say something like, oh, you couldn't handle me, or whatever. And a part of them is like, maybe I couldn't, but I want to try. And a part of them wants to put on this kind of bravado and be like, let me show you how well I can handle you. And I feel like they want to sort of switch up on you in that way. And they're saying to you, you know, if it's an age thing or whatever, they're saying like, I don't want you to see me as a kid. I want you to see me as a serious romantic prospect. Or maybe you've said to them like, oh, you're so sweet, you're so cute, you're so adorable. And they're like, I don't want you to see me as cute, I want you to see me as hot. Like, I want to be someone that you desire. And I think they're saying, trust me, I can make you happy. Like, I will find ways to do that. So this could even be in terms of the bedroom. Maybe they're wanting to show you some skills you've never seen before or something. They're wanting to teach you something. And it could be like, if they've made jokes about getting you alone in that way, maybe you've said like, oh, I'd eat you alive. And this person has suddenly got this really serious demeanor and they're like, I'd be the one eating you or something like that. And you're like, whoa. But I think they want to get you alone and show you that they're so serious about that. I don't know. Maybe it's like you were blind to this person too, but then they said something and it's got you considering them romantically in a more serious way. I feel like this person wants to show you though that it's not just about that, like they also want to start a solid foundation with you. And yes, they are attracted to you, they find you hot, they want to do all the physical stuff if that's something you want. But it's also like they are trying to show you, you know, take me seriously because I actually do have a lot to offer. Even if they are not where they want to be yet, it's kind of like they want to approach you as if they were trying to impress a prospective employer at an interview. They're like, here's my CV, here's what I have to offer, and I have excellent prospects. Just give me a chance to show you what I can do. I also feel like this person is saying that they love how playful they can be with you. Like maybe you're the kind of person who has a really young spirit, or you would be the kind of person to say yes to crazy ideas or their spontaneous plans. And so they love that you're so open-minded. They could also think that you bring a lot of fun energy to the environment they encounter you in. They could see you as someone who is kind of fierce and quite confident. They might think you're really charismatic. They could even want you to kind of boss them around a little bit or put them in their place. There's something about that coming through. I'm hearing somebody say, yes, mummy, so I don't know. This person could have made a joke to you where they've said like, yes, mummy, or yes, daddy, or something, and they were trying to be funny, but like actually they liked that you were being assertive. They could like when you tell them off. They could like that you ask a lot of questions or that conversations are always interesting, or it seems like you're always just ready to do something exciting. This person gets a lot of crazy ideas into their head, so it could be like they see you as somebody who would get intimate in a random crazy place with them, or you'd go on a spontaneous trip or something. You are also a free thinker, you are also creative maybe, so you don't immediately shut their ideas down as being silly, even if you are a little bit more grounded than they are. You make them feel fearless, like they want to come in and take charge, even if the thought of that terrifies them at times. I think they want to take you out too because they can just have a genuine laugh and a lot of fun with you. You guys could have a lot of free-flowing conversations, like you can explore abstract ideas together, almost like when two children get together and they're playing pretend and making up all these scenarios and stories. You guys could have a lot of conversations that are like that, a lot of back and forth. I think in a strange way, if this person isn't usually assertive, you kind of make them want to be assertive, like they want to protect you, or they want to show you that they can take charge or that they can be responsible, like they want to show you that you can depend on them. I also think this person just admires and wants to honor your beauty. Like this person sees you as the empress. They see you as some goddess or godlike creature. They kind of want to worship you. I think this person feels like it would just be a blessing to be in your company. You're kind of like a muse to them. I feel like they get a lot of artistic inspiration just from the feelings they get when they're around you or having conversations with you. And if you are a feminine, they could love how beautifully feminine you are, maybe how your body looks, maybe how you dress or how you carry yourself. And if they are a masculine, it could bring that more masculine side out of them in a way. Gender doesn't matter necessarily, but maybe if they've been more in their feminine energy and they've been more passive, there's something about you that just kind of drives them wild and it drives them to take action even if they're scared. And maybe they just don't feel that way with many people. So that is what I'm getting for your reading, Pal 5. We are going to finish this reading with a little bit of confirmation from the Singles and Relationship Oracle deck. And we are going to be asking what, if anything, is blocking this person from making this move? What's getting in the way? So let's have a look at what we pulled for you. Okay, Pal 5. So we have got age issues. You feel too old or young to date or have issues with your partner's age. So yeah, definitely something about like biological age or just somebody feeling like they lack experience or feeling like they're not at the stage they want to be to pursue this. But you know, as long as this isn't a predatory situation, as long as, you know, everyone is of consenting age and there's no grooming going on, I don't see an issue with consenting adults. Like, don't let somebody's age get in the way if you feel a connection with them, because it does seem as though this person is very serious about you. You know, this could be like a once in a lifetime connection. I think it's different when somebody just happens to fall for somebody who is older or younger than them. There's a difference between that and fetishizing age gaps. I don't think the latter is necessarily healthy, and if somebody is continually going for people who are older or younger than them, then they might need to question why they are looking for that, but I think if it's just a natural thing that happens, that people are attracted to each other and everyone is of consenting age, then it's a little bit different, you know, as long as you are not taking advantage of anyone. Like, I don't think that should be something that holds you back if it is just because of that, but it could be, you know, a maturity issue or an experience issue that somebody feels here. Like, that is the thing that is the barrier. But yeah, that is what I'm getting for your reading, Pal 5. We are just going to finish this reading by looking at some of my handwritten cards. So these are just extra confirmations. One of these might apply to you, none of these might apply to you, but this can absolutely still be your pile. These are just extra little messages for specific individuals who chose this pile. So please bear with me if you want to see that. I'm just going to pop these cards to one side. Okay, I've tried to get all of these in frame. I think they are all in frame. If you want to pause the video and have a look at them, you can, but I will read these out to you. So we have a lot of water energy coming through. We have water Mars, we have water Mercury and water Moon, we have air rising, we have ISFP, gentle, sensitive, nurturing, helpful, flexible, realistic, seek to create a personal environment that is both beautiful and practical. We have Pleiadian starseed, we have Somalia, we have Morocco. Somebody is passionate and cares deeply about things. That could be you or this person or both of you. Somebody here is hot-headed or feisty. This person could like that about you. It's funny we got mommy coming through in the tarot because we have mom friend, likes to take care of people. That's come through in a few readings today. Irresponsible, always getting into trouble. That could be how you feel about this person, or maybe they feel like their emotions are getting them into trouble or something like that. Somebody here is into paintballing. They'd like to go to an escape room or go go-karting or skiing. Somebody is an activist or an advocate. Somebody is focused on health and wellness. Somebody here has a vision board. For channel messages, we have it's happening for a reason. There's a deeper purpose. So maybe like there's a deeper purpose to this connection. We've got you offer something that nobody else can. That could be how this person feels about you, like there is no one else they are interested in. We've got I regret what I did do and what I didn't do. So maybe this person is regretting like not taking action. We have got wait and see. So this could be saying like wait and see what happens with this connection. Maybe this person is going to do something. We've got bigger and better things are coming. So maybe something about this connection is getting better. And we have got you are destined for so much more. So that is what I'm getting for your reading, Pal 5. I really, really hope you enjoyed this reading today. If you did enjoy the reading, please like the video. Please leave me a little comment, let me know what resonated, or just let me know which pal you picked if you don't feel comfortable letting me know what resonated. Please sub if you haven't done so already. That is the best and easiest way to support this channel, and I would really, really appreciate it. With that said, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, Pal 5.